Ladies and gentlemen, as we are beginning this stream, riots are breaking out across the country. Protests and riots. I want to be careful about the language I use because some are protests, some are riots. Some are protesters being arrested. Some are rioters smashing things up. My understanding is that they've been rioting all day, basically. It's never stopped. And now we're getting word from the prosecutor. They're not going to be, I guess, charging this cop the guy who was putting his knee on the neck.
Yeah.
They said what did he say? He said something like...
He said something along the lines of there's evidence showing that there's no reason to charge him. Something along those lines. That they have evidence contradicting the fact that what everyone sees.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
I mean, I think what they might be alluding to, I think one possibility is that the cop showed up late because people are like, hey, that cop wasn't the cop in the video. And because there's a video of George Floyd not resisting.
Right.
Some have argued he was because he just like is grumbling as they push him and like staggered or whatever, but it's not resisting, man.
If what he's saying is true, why did they fire them? Why did they fire all four of them then?
Yep.
What? Oh, there's evidence to the contrary? Then
Well,
why did you
listen,
fire all four of them?
It could be because this is the, you know what, man?
What, to prevent this?
Right.
It's not going to,
I know.
No.
Well, they're stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, at some point, these people got to learn that apologizing does nothing.
Exactly.
And that's scary. It's scary. Because when I watched this video of George Floyd, my immediate reaction was like, I do not see how they can justify this in any way, no matter what.
Agreed.
Because the dude's he's not resisting. He's saying, please, 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 I can't breathe.
Yep.
They could have called somebody over. They could have.
All right, let's just put you in the back of the cop car.
Something like that. Some people said like the criminals lie and then they use it as a chance to escape. You're responsible, man. You got your
surrounded by he had other cops around him.
And apparently,
it's like, okay, let's all put him in the back of the vehicle.
There's this crazy thing that people don't understand. When it came to Eric Garner, do you know the story about Eric? He was slinging
cigarettes.
Yeah, what do they call them? Singles or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember.
When it came to him,
Lucy's.
Yeah. The cop had him in a chokehold.
Yep.
And he said, I can't breathe. And then everyone started saying, if you can talk, you can breathe. It's not true. It's really easy to force air out of your lungs, but pulling it back in requires more pressure. Right. That's my understanding of it. So
that makes sense.
But I don't care about any of these excuses. I really, really don't. I mean, the reality of it is, they got to be more responsible. So I could understand, like, maybe this cop shows up late, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what happened, and they just say this guy was resisting, and he goes, okay, and so he doesn't know anything about the guy.
Keyword there, was resisting. Even if it was past tense, it's like he wasn't resisting anymore.
That's not the point. The language is the point. They could have said he's resisting, hold him down. And this cop shows up and he's like, okay.
I know, but I'm seeing people post about there's training that when you need to restrain somebody, if their hands are tied behind their back and they're on their belly, getting on their hands, sitting on their hands does the same as sitting on their neck.
He could have set him up. He could have sat him up.
Or sat on his hands.
They don't care.
Exactly.
You know
they don't
care.
So, that's the key.
So the thing is, I really don't like the racialism of everything all the time.
Yeah.
Because growing up on the south side of Chicago, I've seen cops just not care. I don't care what your race is. They didn't care about any of us.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, I watched white dudes get beat up. I watched Asian dudes get beat up. And I watched black dudes get beat up. And I got falsely arrested.
Right.
And so when it comes to this, like, I totally understand the anger. And I'm not trying to dismiss it. I'm just saying, like, we can all agree on some fundamentals and we can avoid the more contentious aspects.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about how you feel about this when it comes to race. I'm not saying don't talk about it. I'm saying if we all agree right now, this George's rights were violated completely. Fifth Amendment, due process, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And they could have just propped him up and sat him down. There's a lot of ways they could have done. Like, we got to talk about the callousness and the the desensitizing of the police force. These are all things I think everybody agrees with.
Yep.
Look at how they were enforcing the pandemic. These cops didn't care about you.
Yep.
They at the Atlas gym, which is by us, it's these guys are like, we're gonna open our business because we can't do this anymore. They brought in this is what we were told. It might not be true, but we were told by one of the locals there. They brought in cops from another town because they knew the local cops wouldn't want to enforce this against their own town.
Oh wow.
That's a problem. Yes, that's how they get around it. A cop who's like, I don't know you, I don't care. And then when so look, it's tough.
Yep.
But if you, in my opinion, cop or otherwise, if you're going to assert force over someone else, and they comply, you are responsible in this regard. So anyway, I don't want to get too much in it because we got a ton of news. So let's get started. If you're just tuning in, we got the super chat going. I think this is going to be a brutal night. So just keep in mind we can't get to every single super chat. We'll do our best, and we'll probably go through super chats. Not normally we'll like read through a bunch of stories and then do super chats. I think we'll go in between today just because of what's going on with Twitter and the shenanigans.
Yeah.
We do have a bunch of stories. We'll see what we can get to because I think we're gonna be having a big conversation about what's happening around the country. But it's nuts, man.
I agreed.
So let's just get started on the first segment. Check this out. At least 30 arrested in NYC protest over death of George Floyd. This is from just about an hour ago, and I mean it's not stopped. We saw the protests in Los Angeles. We're seeing them in New York. We got these photos coming out. Look, this is the New York Post. We can see a bunch of photos here.
Oh wow.
These photos. So I haven't seen video. I like this cat here. I'm gonna leave it because we're talking about heavy stuff, so it's kind of nice. I've seen arrests like this. I've seen protests like this. And things can get rough in New York. New York is usually really chill relative to the places like you were with me in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore and you were with me in New York.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. New York was like, it's like, people are marching.
Baltimore, it felt the same. They were burning down their houses.
No. I mean, you mean like Minnesota, the same.
Comparative to Minnesota, yeah.
Right. I'm saying like when we were in New York.
New York it felt chill.
You were like
always.
riding around on your skateboard.
Right.
It was like, but people are getting arrested. It's just they're not burning things down.
Mm-hmm.
This actually is surprising to me to see these photos of daytime arrests like this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that a whole lot when I would be covering a lot of protests in New York. I mean, it happens. It for sure does. But I think we're looking at one of the most. I mean, this is the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah,
in
I
terms
agree.
of a protest. So when I was in Ferguson, they would riot at night, and we go back and we go to sleep, and we wake up the next day. Everything would be calm, and there wouldn't be rioting. And it was all really centralized. Right now, we're hearing that there's rioting in St. Paul. So St. Paul is like a part of Minneapolis, but it's just different areas all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
In the Ferguson riots, one area, one street. And then there was some stuff that happened like in a southern part of St. Louis County.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore was pretty widespread, though.
Oh, yeah, Baltimore was widespread. I remember
we walked around all over.
We were driving. We saw people randomly like jumping through windows and like smashing windows out.
Yeah.
So there's actually let me show you the breaking news stuff first, right? So NBC News reporting unrest erupts again after death of George Floyd. Minnesota governor activates National Guard. They're coming in. This is where things get spicy, man.
Yep.
I've seen the National Guard get called in before, but I've not seen them called in a situation this bad. So I'm curious as to what happens.
Was the National Guard in Baltimore?
I don't think so.
Okay, so the what are they? What is the sound devices? LAR?
LRAD.
LRADs.
Yeah.
That was Baltimore PD that had those?
Everybody's got those.
Okay.
Long range acoustic device.
Yeah.
These things, if you've ever heard these things, man, these are brutal.
Yeah. I don't think we heard them though.
They're weapons, but I've heard them so many times.
Yeah.
I actually did this thing where I went to a Brazilian expo where they were like showing off weapons, and the French LRAD company is all proud and they're like blasting at everybody. It's like rah, 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 rah. So what it does, what they use it for the most part, is to make announcements.
Okay.
It's impressively loud. If you're standing like a block away from the cops, when they turn it on, it sounds like someone's standing right in front of you saying, you need to leave. This is a direct order. And you're like, whoa. Literally sounds like they're standing in front of you and you can see them at the end of the block.
Wow.
When they put it on weapon mode,
Make your ears bleed.
the chirping doesn't bother me all that much.
No?
They do a really, really loud and high-pitched chirp, and you cover your ears, and it's meant to like be distracting.
Yeah.
But these things can make your ears bleed if they actually weaponize them to the max.
You could probably blow out your eardrums.
And they can knock you on the ground. That's the craziest thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they can do really, really, really loud and well, so they say. I've never seen it done.
Okay.
I have seen people get like, I guess I could argue minor injury, like and they fall down, like they've done it too loud. But yeah, man. So we're seeing all this stuff pop off. It's been going on nonstop. They burn down low-income housing. They burn down they burn down AutoZone, I think, like some other buildings.
AutoZone.
Wendy's and McDonald's.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
That to me.
How dare you?
And I mean this somewhat jokingly, but like for serious, like why?
Why?
It's the best fast food restaurant.
I don't get it.
It's just a restaurant.
I don't know. Yeah, like what how is and the craziest thing to me is like on Twitter, they're all saying things like, you know, if an unarmed black man was killed by the police and the only thing you're caring about is that they're burning down buildings, that you're part of the problem. And I'm like, dude, you burn down low-income housing.
And
like,
places people
you're
work.
the baddie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're the one who lives there. Why are you burning your own?
Well, it was like being
place?
built.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like a new buildings.
A new building meant to help poor people that we like the community is pitching in for.
Yeah, I don't get
It's
it.
like you're the baddie, dude.
Yeah.
These are they don't get it. I'll tell you what, when you watch a video of someone going in and just taking a TV, I'm like, that's not justice, dude.
Nope.
You don't need the TV.
But then they'll at you and say, "This is what you get, though. This is what you take."
It's your target, bro. Nah, I don't live there.
It's true.
What do you think? What is what I get? This is what's crazy to me about these riots, man. They don't affect rich people. They affect poor people, and this is why this is amazing.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory that the rioting is started by the cops or by, you know.
I was looking into this because people kept posting at me saying, "Look at this. This is what it was actually like." Some white folks that started this, and I didn't find anything.
I would be absolutely unsurprised if white Antifa started this.
Okay.
I'd be like, what else is new? I've been to so many of these protests, even in New York. You know what they do?
What?
The white Antifa far leftists will crouch down in the crowd, walk into the middle of random innocent peaceful protesters, and then chuck a bottle at the cops. And then the cops start beating the innocent, the regular peaceful protesters, and then it makes everyone go nuts.
Okay.
The far leftists, call them what you want, saboteurs, aggressors. Yeah. What's the word I'm thinking of? There's a word.
Aggressors or
no. There's a word.
Instigators.
No. I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. For man, what's the word they call them? People who infiltrate to start the violence.
Spies.
No. There's been evidence in the past that the police have done this, but a cop is so obvious in these crowds. Like, even if they're wearing street clothes, you're like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, they have a stance.
It's not even that. It's like we've seen 45-year-old, 6'3", like dudes that are like, you're middle-aged, you're a little, like you're kind of muscular, you're standing tall and straight, and everyone else is a lanky, like, almost crippled, gaunt white college student. Not all of them are cops, but sometimes it's like it's very obvious, especially on the boots they're wearing. But I did talk about this earlier today. In Ferguson, they definitely thought it was a conspiracy because they thought the police were trying to start the riots.
Okay.
The people who were rioting weren't from there. And that's something we actually heard, again, about Minnesota. The people who are rioting right now in Minneapolis aren't from there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So they wrote in just to get some free stuff, basically.
Free stuff, baby. What's really frustrating is that you have these far left magazines that write. There was an article. It was written. It was called "In Defense of Looting," and they were trying to argue that this is the most evil thing I've ever seen. Evil. They argue that the people in these communities are rioting to push back on the oppressive system and finally take what's theirs and blah blah blah. The only problem, in Ferguson, the people rioting didn't live in Ferguson. So what was happening was you had this moment where these Ferguson residents linked arms to defend the liquor store that was one of the stores being looted. And they were basically saying, please help us. These people who don't live here are destroying our community. And then the leftists are like, well, they're only looting to fight back against oppression. Meanwhile, the poor, underprivileged community is saying, please stop them.
Yeah.
That was gruesome.
Well, it just makes me think of this tweet that I retweeted from Dominic Clare. He started by saying, if I ever get killed by the police, I beg you not to burn my city and my community to the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, man. And then he added more. He said, we are angry. Great. Let's use that. But let's not let George Floyd die in vain. And that's what feel like it's happening. It's like any upper hand that they had that they should have used, they're losing. It's not even them,
exactly.
Which is the point that you're making. It's being stolen from them, exactly.
And then you have these high-profile activists, for whatever reason, defend the opportunists who are exploiting this community. You want to know what's really sad? Man, this one got me. A video surfaced of George Floyd telling kids to knock off the gang culture, gun violence stuff. You're not being tough when you do this. And he's like, I
that's awesome. Like,
I know
we need to remember his message. Like, what
a
boss.
Do you know why he got stopped by the cops?
No. Oh yeah, you mentioned it. Go ahead.
A $20 counterfeit bill.
He probably didn't even know.
Maybe. I'm not gonna assume he did or he didn't.
Well,
but
in this country, he's innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, he's an innocent man.
First and foremost.
Or was an innocent man.
I know, because I know people are going to say this. First and foremost, no matter what he did, he shouldn't have died.
Right.
Absolutely.
Even here's the thing too about this country. You can be a bloodthirsty murderer, rampaging around, going, "Rah, rah," and we still catch you and you stand trial. We made the Nazis stand trial because we want everyone to see and know exactly what they did, why they did it, and why we do this to maintain that standard and say we believe in justice and truth.
Yep.
And exposing this.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest problems when they do this, and it's terrifying that in this country people assume if you're arrested you're guilty.
Yep.
So first and foremost, I don't care what he did, he stands trial. Everyone does. And people were saying this about some of the worst terrorists in the world. We want them to stand trial for their crimes.
Oh, yeah.
We want them to sit in that chair so we can point the finger and we can provide that justice, that moment to the victims,
Yep.
no matter who they are.
Exactly.
So this guy, I don't care. But then you realize they claimed he was resisting. Then we see a video where it's like, at worst, it seems like he may have passively resisted by falling over.
Yeah.
Or maybe fell over.
Which isn't resisting, right? If
So-
you just go limp, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of resisting. It might be annoying for the cops, but going limp, they pick you up, and then it's like activists are told, specifically by lawyers, just like you're a ragdoll.
Yeah.
Because then they'll pick you up and they'll carry you on. Now I get this guy was big,
Mm-hmm.
but even if he was doing that, let's say he did decide to passively resist, which I don't think he did.
Right.
Why knee on his neck?
Right. Why?
And then to make it all worse, a $20 bill. This is why it all happened.
Yeah, a counterfeit $20 bill.
Wait, you mean to tell me these cops
Come
were like,
on.
whoa, we got $20. We got get all these guys, round them all up, throw them on the ground. Seriously? That's crazy to me. Like, when you watch the video, they have him sitting up against the wall, and then they walk over, pick him up, and start walking him to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him. It looks like he may fall over near the car. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
And then we don't know what happens next. But in the next video, you see the cop with the knee on his neck, and he's saying, please, I can't breathe. How does this happen over these trivial things?
All I know is he was alive when the cop was on his neck.
Right.
That is a fact.
Right.
There's a video of that. And then he's dead.
And I'm laughing because it's like, the reason I'm laughing is it's just the absurdity of how simple all of this is.
Yeah.
A guy's got, you got your knee on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
I can't breathe. Please. Get your knee off his neck, dude.
As soon as you're in their custody, they're responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that not the law?
That makes perfect
I'm
sense.
fairly certain that's the way it is.
Check this
as
out.
soon as they handcuff you, you're in their custody and they're your responsibility.
Check out this clip.
Oh, this guy.
Minnesota prosecutor says video showing George Floyd's death is terrible, but says there's other evidence that does not support a criminal charge. You know what, man? I'm the last person on the
Then
planet.
why did you fire them then? If they were supposedly doing their job and there's other evidence that doesn't support any criminal charge.
To be fair, I think there's a line between losing your job and going
and
to
being
prison.
Prosecuted for
Right.
killing
No,
somebody?
I mean, like, if you work at a cafe and you take coffee and you slam it on the ground, like, they're gonna fire you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do the same thing but in an old woman's face, then you get arrested. You know
But
what I mean?
isn't manslaughter when someone dies and it's not you're not murdering somebody, but someone dies because of something you did?
Exactly.
Right. That's still
And
something
so-
that he needs to be held accountable.
Right.
It's manslaughter.
So here, right, I agree, and I think the argument they're going to go with is, but cops are supposed to subdue people, therefore it's not manslaughter.
He seemed pretty subdued.
This is what they this is what they do when it comes to police and these kinds of incidents. They say, in a normal circumstance, if you killed this person, it would be manslaughter. However, because the police are tasked with going into the community and engaging with people in this way, and sometimes they have to subdue people, it's the normal course of his job. It was an accident. They're probably going to argue the knee on the neck is a standard, procedure to subdue someone, and he didn't realize or something like that.
But that's not standard procedure. I've had people hit me up today about it, saying
It's not.
Even someone in chat, I believe earlier, said I have a friend in the PD that says that is not standard procedure to kneel on someone's neck.
I've had that happen to me.
Someone knelt on your neck.
Yes,
a cop.
in Chicago.
Well, it's not standard procedure.
Shouldn't be done.
I'm not saying you're right.
It's them
I'm not saying
taking
it
their
is.
power and doing whatever they want to do.
I'm saying they argue like in Eric Garner, they said no one used a chokehold. Then the video came out. You see the guy going like,
Right. Clearly chokeholding him.
I'll be careful because, I know a lot of people have followed up on these stories. Like when I mentioned Freddie Gray, people were like, "Hey Tim, you were wrong about this." I'm like, right. I haven't read the Freddie Gray stuff. Followed up on it in a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we solve for this problem. I don't like the idea that the only reason anything's happening is because of an outrage mob, and we have no, like whoa, like with the Ahmaud Arbery stuff. I'm like, dude, unless we have hard evidence, this is a really murky case. This one, it's like that guy was saying, "Please, I'm dying."
Yeah.
And you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Imagine this way. Imagine there's a guy laying on the ground and there's no cop on his neck. Imagine there's 3 cops surrounding a guy on the ground who's grasping at his chest saying, help me, I'm dying. And when people try to get close, the cops push him back and then the guy dies on the ground. They would still be responsible for that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
You're right.
if it really was, even if the cop didn't do anything to him, it's like there's a guy dying saying, please, I'm dying. Then you got to administer some kind of help. You know, I get it. People say, you know, criminals like to lie and pretend they're sick and they're dying, and so cops just don't care anymore. And I'm like, I get it, but that doesn't matter. You can't assume someone's faking it because sometimes people fake it.
Yep.
The standard is on you.
Yep.
You are using the power of the state against a citizen who has constitutional rights, and so you always have that higher standard. You can't get relaxed.
And what I'm seeing now is, oh, well, he just got fired. That's it. That's setting the precedent that cops can continue doing what they've been doing, because this isn't the first time this has happened.
You know what's the worst thing about this though?
Tell me.
The rioting actually starts to break that precedent, and it started to, and I would argue now it's reversed it in a sense. So like, at first you would hear a lot of these stories, and they would immediately come out and say, we're not charging or firing anybody, and everyone would get mad. Then riots started happening.
Yeah,
now
this is different.
Now they panic.
Yeah.
Now they're like, we fired them. You're right. It was racism. The FBI is coming in. These guys are going down, and they still riot.
And
thus
riot
proving
bad.
And riot worse.
From the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, I could not believe how fast it was.
Thus proving capitulating to the rioting did nothing.
Well, because everybody, including me, are going, they're just getting fired. That's it. That they're getting away with manslaughter.
No. What you're arguing is so what these people are arguing is because these guys weren't arrested, charged, or indicted and convicted in 24 hours, they're going to riot. It's like, well, hold on. It just happened. And everyone agrees with you. The president's called it out and directed the FBI. The FBI is investigating. The mayor said it was a racist situation. It needs to be, these guys need to face justice, and justice will be had. The guys were immediately fired.
Yeah.
And now we're waiting.
That's a good point. You're right. That's a good point.
But nobody wants to wait. So why should anyone do anything if apologizing and actually giving in does nothing? So you could argue all the bad rioting and everything we saw. Well, for a minute there, maybe they made a point. If they didn't riot and they said they could have come up triumphantly and said, all those riots in the past, it's the only reason these people are listening to us now. True. No, they're not going to listen to you, bro, because the rioting in the past meant nothing. Because as soon as they do give in, you still riot. It's like cancel culture. Jimmy Fallon apologizes. You see that Twitter thread? He apologizes for that joke 20 years ago. They don't care. Yeah. No, they tear into him like crazy. Here, pull up the Twitter, because we got some images from Unicorn Riot. If you guys aren't familiar, Unicorn Riot is like a lefty, independent, nonprofit news. They actually operate out of Minnesota. And they got a bunch of photos going back a couple hours. They said that Verizon had its windows smashed out. Look at these. We got some photos of tear gas. It looks like in a parking lot of a...
looks like a Super Target.
Yeah, it's like a Super Target shop. Look at this, man. The vitamin shop. They took out Noodles and Company. Now that's the line, man. I'm kidding, by the way. Look at Verizon. They got shutters. They're not playing around.
Oh, man.
Check this out. They got video here. Tear gas in a Target parking lot. Dozens of police vehicles lined up in front of Target. A burning bush in front of the building was extinguished. They're trying to start...
Yeah.
You were right. It was a Super Target.
It was.
Yeah,
huh?
did you see the... Look. It's a Super Target.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to start fires in the middle of the day. They never stopped. And so I think that's it for this thread. But I actually have a...
It was like 3 p.m. today.
They've been posting more. So this one is actually from 7:47 p.m. Eastern. So right before we started, we got this video of... Oh, hold on. Let me do this. Let me...
Whoa, what are they? What are they
turn on the audio
shooting
for you
there?
guys. So it sounds like tear gas.
Cops are approaching now. The furniture barn that's right here. People stole a couple of cars from there earlier. Some more tear gas.
Did you hear that? People stole cars from here earlier.
So they're stealing cars.
Dude,
Whoa.
you hear about the guy in the pawn shop?
Yep. Got the one that got shot and killed.
Yep. And everyone's mad about it? Man, look.
You're mad that the guy defended his property?
I'm anti-death penalty.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue against... You break into someone's house.
Yeah.
They defend themselves from you. So the point is, I don't want anyone to die.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
if you're trying to break in and like you're attacking their property, I don't want the store owner to die.
Mm-hmm.
Then, it falls down onto the...
There's more of you than there are of him.
The dude who dies is the dude who kicked the door in.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
And people are freaking out about it. And the crazy thing, too, is the cops are doing CPR on the guy, and people thought the cops did it. It's just making everything worse. So here's another clip from Unicorn Riot. They're doing an ongoing thread. This is from 15 minutes ago. Protesters moved east from the furniture barn back towards the target. Police with riot gear are clearing the Verizon store. Messages sprayed with black paint. Left of the windows, RIP George. And then I think it says F12, Black Lives Matter. George Floyd protests are ongoing in the Twin Cities. And New York. New York as we know it now. So I don't know what other tweets I have. Oh, so this is the Cassandra stuff. We'll get to that in a second. We'll talk about the what you call it, the pawn shop.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we have this. We can talk a bit now about like the online reaction too, unless I don't know. Is there anything you thought we should tackle?
I mean, we don't know. I mean, we've said it all. I feel, yeah. You know, there's.
I guess we can throw in some.
It's a shame because it does truly feel like they're just taking advantage of George now, and it seems like he was such an amazing person, going against this kind of violence. You know, I wish you had that video pulled up. You know, because I want people to know that I didn't even know. You told me this earlier, and I was like, wow,
that was such a cool video.
What an awesome dude.
Yeah.
What a shame that he has now lost his life because
I was very moved.
You know, when he's
I'm getting angry, bro. I'm getting real angry right now, man.
Why?
George Floyd calls for an end to gun violence in resurfaced video.
It's like, man, this is the kind of people we need in this world, you know? And he was taken out for a $20 bill. As I'm finding out, a $20 bill.
I mean, that's what's reported. I'll be the wet blanket because I'm always, pulling back. He might not have been a saint. You know what I mean?
True.
He could be that nasty guy who comes to your house, farts all over the place, takes your food, and walks out, and you're like, man, I can't.
Sure.
And he's still just another dude, and he's got but this video just lends so much more to his character, and I'm just like,
agreed.
This is the guy.
Yep.
I wish this message. Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Let me read this for you guys. This is from the New York Post. George Floyd calls for an end to gun violence in resurfaced video. George Floyd, the 46-year-old Minnesota man who died at the hands of white cops, urged the younger generation to put an end to gun violence in newly emerged video, according to a report. It's clearly the generation after us that's so lost, man. I agree with him, dude.
Boom.
But, older generations always say it's about younger generations.
True. That's true.
Floyd says in the undated footage that circulated on Twitter on Wednesday before urging them to come home, "Our young are clearly lost, man, clearly lost. I don't even know what to say anymore. You youngsters just going around busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed." Floyd also expressed his disgust after hearing that an adult had apparently condoned the use of firearms. "Man, I knew it was crazy then, a N-word my age, saying it and condoning this S, bro. You know what I'm saying? And half of them young, N-word, shooting guns, go home and their knees shaking at night, but they don't show it to nobody because they aren't tough then. Come on now. Come on home, man. It's going to be you and God. You're going up or you're going down." Floyd died. Man.
Oof.
I'm pissed.
That's heavy, yo.
Seriously, dude. That makes me angry. Growing up in Chicago, one of the biggest problems I have, and that's something that's often brought up a lot by conservatives, is that there's a lot of gun violence among young people in the black community in Chicago.
Yep.
And I did an interview with a woman who was amazingly pro Second Amendment, Chicago, urban liberal, and she said, we need to stop the illegal guns, man. She was like, I should have a right to carry my weapon to protect myself, and we got to do something to stop the illegal guns these people are getting, and that's the big problem we're looking at. And she was talking about gun violence and stuff. And like growing up in Chicago, I'm like, dude, yes. It just makes everything worse. It's like, bro, if you know what like one of the leading causes of gun violence among young people in Chicago is?
What?
They think it's gangs. It's not. It's like social media beef.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Social media beef.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So there was one story that I was on it was a Nightcrawler beat.
Okay.
I went out with some journalists. We found out some dude got killed because someone on Snapchat called him, a punk A-B, messing with my girl and stuff like that. So the dude gets in his car and drives up and bang, 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 bang. I don't know a lot of, I don't know who this guy was, George Floyd.
Yeah.
I don't know about his personal life, and I don't know about his most of his character, just because you see one or two good things. But I'll tell you this, if I don't know you, I'm gonna assume in a more positive direction to try and be a more optimistic person.
For sure.
Same.
Especially when it comes to issues of law enforcement. But I'll tack on this. I'm totally biased right now, especially after seeing this video. The only image I have of this man right now is that he was a good dude. That's the assumption I'm making.
Against gun violence.
Against gun violence. Telling the
trying
kids,
to help his community.
think
Yeah.
about what he said. It's going to be you and God. You're going up or you're going down. He's telling those kids to get right.
Yep.
That makes me angry, man. And then when I think about, when I see these videos, like the cop walking him to the car, you don't know what happened. You don't know if things got crazy.
Right.
You add this to that. You add the previous video, it wasn't resisting. And now it's like...
Hold on. And then you add the picture of the cop that's kneeling on his neck.
Dude.
Make America white again, wearing that hat.
Why would he be wearing that white hat? What do you mean?
Did you not see the picture of him? It's the same cop wearing
He
Make
was
America
wearing
white again.
that hat?
Yes.
No way.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I've seen it floating
that
around.
Sounds fake, dude.
I've seen it floating around.
That
dude.
would be like...
But people are. I've
That's
seen
ju-
it. If I've seen it, they've seen it.
Let's pull
And
up.
Yeah, I don't
You
like
Find it.
that.
Find it.
Yeah. Let's investigate this for
Sure.
sure.
Actually, can you start digging that up? Because I think it's going to require
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, I
we
already
got to be
know.
real careful on that stuff.
I already
Okay.
know.
Because
Well, for the record, I've seen this picture
Yeah,
floating
that's out
around
there.
a lot
Yeah.
today.
is it like...
They're spreading it around. They
Hold
got
on,
a
hold
picture of him on his neck and the picture next to each other, and they're like, boom.
So in a different picture, this guy was wearing
Different
that.
picture, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We definitely got to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
okay.
I mean, but think about that, It's like, man, that's if this is the case, it's not only okay, so
no,
people are
it's
saying
fake.
it's a fake picture.
Yeah, that's a fake.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
the same guy.
All right, so it being fake, that's still being spread around.
Yeah, it's a little
and
piece of
y-
propaganda.
Yeah, it's more tinder on the flame of
Right.
what's going on today.
Let me just give a shout out to the chat. We
Yeah.
have the best fact checkers
Oh
in
my
real
gosh,
time.
look at
outside.
this
I
fact
love.
checking.
Oh, yo, seriously, I love our chat.
I love it.
I
I'll
love our
set you
chat.
straight
Yo,
in 2
shout out to
seconds.
all our people here with us because you
Yeah,
guys are
man.
awesome. I
Appreciate
really
it.
appreciate you all.
We got 50 million chats coming in at
Woo.
every second, and
Holy
it's all
moly.
fake.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah,
you know.
that's great.
But I'm like,
Here's the thing.
I can't read any individual one, but seeing fake 1,000 times, I'm
Yeah.
like,
I'm
we got
guessing
it.
All right,
that's
yeah,
it. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it is fake.
That's fine. That's fine. I wasn't saying that that is the
Right, right,
case.
right.
It is out there, and people believe it because that is what happened. They don't even read an article. They see the title and post it along and be like, "See, I'm justified. Let's go loot more."
This
you know?
is what's
Yeah.
really making me angry.
Yeah.
That I was talking to a friend of mine who is lefty.
Yeah.
Doesn't follow any conservative news, any conservative personalities. And I brought up that they're showing these memes of libertarian and conservative two-way activists standing on the steps of Michigan, or reopen activists.
Yeah.
And they're saying things like, look what happens when these white people with guns, no one does anything to them. And the joking thing, the first and foremost, is like, makes a good point about the Second Amendment, right? Like, the cops don't want to get their... Someone made a really great point about this. They tweeted at me, and they said, it's not... Someone tweeted something like, if you give all these rioters weapons and the police started firing tear gas, what do you think would happen? And they responded with no, because the police would be very, very
They would not
careful
be firing
if
tear
they were
gas.
dealing with armed activists marching.
Fully armed activists.
They
yeah.
wouldn't just start firing at people. They would back off and they'd calm down because they're trying to desperately avoid a
They would
confrontation.
have to de-escalate.
Here's what really bugged me out. Talking to my friend, and it's no dig at my friend. My friend just, I was like, it's sad to me that these like 2A activists standing on these steps agree about this guy getting his life taken away from him.
Yep.
And I'm like, this could have been an amazing moment to say, we may disagree on a lot having to do with this,
Yeah.
but we can all agree there needs to be justice. And then there could have been this unity. But it really, really messes with me when you see the left doesn't care about what conservatives think. They don't care who these people
know.
are.
Yep.
And why are you ragging on these guys? They didn't do anything to you. This was an opportunity for you to like reach out your hand and say, we need your help. Like, this guy's rights were violated.
Yep.
And they would have been like, yeah. It's sad, man. People are so driven by tribalism.
Yep.
Who did it? Anyway, I was telling my friend, I was like, what's really fascinating right now about what's happening across the country is that these urban cops have lost the goodwill of so many of the right, so many individuals on the right for violating the Constitution with these decrees. I'm not talking about small town cops. I'm talking about NYPD and LAPD when they were given an executive decree by the governor. And then all these conservatives were like, you can't do this. And they were like, watch me. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow. Oath. And I'm seeing people call them oath breakers. And I'm like, yes.
Technically correct.
That is correct.
Yep.
Because we saw the good cops, like that guy in Seattle.
Yep.
I'm not going to enforce these unconstitutional laws. You
And
can't make
gets
me.
fired
And he
for
gets
it.
fired for it.
It's like, That's a boss right there.
Dude.
Yeah.
Upholding the Constitution.
You know what I really there was this I think it was the mother of all rallies it was called, where a bunch of Trump supporters were doing a big thing in DC. Black Lives Matter showed up to protest it, and then the Trump supporters invited him on stage.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I think it was Hank Newsom, who's a Black Lives Matter lefty cultural guy.
Okay.
Lot of things I disagree with him on, but he's a cool dude. He really is. I think he's a cool dude. So he shows up and they're there to protest, but the Trump supporters were like, "Why don't you come on stage and tell us? Like, we want to respect you and
Yeah,
this
we
is
want to
America."
hear your side of things.
And you know what ended up happening? At first, everyone was a little apprehensive, and then I think it was Hank. He said, "We're not anti-cop. We're anti-bad cop.
Boom.
We want our constitutional rights." And then the crowd goes, "Yeah!"
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. We can all
And
agree
I'm
on
like,
that.
"Yes!"
The crowd, yeah, exactly. And he
And
probably
then-
wasn't expecting that.
No, they thought they were enemies.
Right.
And then when he came down, apparently, like there's photos, like everyone's like trying to get pictures with him, and they're like, "You're really great. Like this is exactly what we've been saying."
Yeah.
Not realizing, and that what makes me angry. You see these, Sarah Silverman. You see
Yeah,
these
I saw that,
celebrities.
right.
They're the ones driving a wedge between us because we may disagree on like racial issues and social justice, but we agree on our fundamental rights. And there's a line where we might be like, "I won't stand next to you because I think you're going nuts." But for fundamental issues like this, we can solve this problem. I think it's to be a bit more on the conspiratorial side. It's they don't want us to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned this the other day. That comic about Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
It's a fat cat rich guy in his room, and then there's a bunch of people outside with Occupy signs, and then he's on the phone laughing, saying, "Introduce them to identity politics," and that's it. And then all of a sudden they're fighting each other, and that's
They're trying to maintain that the class system that they have in place.
Make the poor people fight each other, and they don't got to fight us. That's what the crazy thing about
Divide
Occupy.
and conquer.
Yep.
Occupy was everybody versus the 1%.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the millionaire, black woman is now oppressed, and the homeless white man is the oppressor.
So, would you say that was the start of this?
Identity politics.
Occupy?
Occupy.
Occupy was one of the first social justice like moments in culture,
Okay.
but it had started a couple years earlier in media, and then it manifested physically, as far as I can tell, for the first time with Occupy Wall Street. It was because even during Occupy, it wasn't absolute.
Right.
Like the social justice, SJW dogma stuff, it wasn't absolute. There were people arguing over it.
Mm-hmm.
If there was an Occupy protest today, it would 100% be social justice dogma, intersectionality.
Yeah.
I always call it, that's the proper name.
Yeah.
Back then, a lot of people disagreed with it, and there was only a small handful of people enforcing it, because half of the park didn't agree with it, and half did. This is a crazy story, man. With Occupy, there was a group of people living in the park who separated and formed their own governing body. They called it the General Union.
Okay.
Huh.
The General Assembly was the power structure. It was college-educated, upper-class, and trust fund kids. They lived in Brooklyn. They would take the train to the park, hold meetings dictating what to do with all the money they raised. The people who lived in the park, the poor people, decided, because they couldn't get fair representation at the General Assembly, that they would create their own system called the General Union, where your voting power was based on your tent. So you had all these tents, and they said everybody's tents are rep from their tent. So if there's 2 or 3 people in a tent, one person goes and we make decisions. They were going to have their own meeting on the other side of the park. It was the west side of the park. And facilitators, they called them, showed up and shut the event down and wouldn't let them organize. It was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen. Yep. And one of the dudes who organized started crying. So like, I got threatened by 2 guys. They said they told me to shut up or they'd shut me up, because I was just filming.
Yeah.
I was filming. I'm like, these guys have something to say, and they were like, the General Assembly activists showed up to their side and started going, mic check, mic check, mic check, over and over again, and the crowd just mindlessly drones along so that no meeting could take place. That was creepy. That was really creepy. And then the only thing you could do, they started was go to the General Assembly. They started putting up flyers saying anybody collecting donations for Occupy was scamming you. So the only way to give them money was through their official channel, where they made a bunch of money. One guy was spending nights at luxury hotels. People were stealing stuff.
Oh man.
Yep. And
Sounds like corruption.
absolute corruption. Absolute corruption. And there was one moment, the way that, because the General Assembly didn't work, it was like, the General Assembly was everyone sits down, and then they say, I want to do this, and then everyone raises their hands. If someone blocked it by making an X, it was stopped until you could get past that block. One block, it was done. Unless they moved for like a supermajority. And there was one moment where they were trying to do something with money, and there were a bunch of people blocking it. And so then they said, we can't move forward because we have all these blocks. We're going to vote for a supermajority. And the guy everyone raises their hands, and a bunch of people make the block sign. And then he goes, yep, we got it. We're good. And then they're like, wait, what? No, he goes, no, we're good. We're good, everybody. And then they were like, no. Wait, what? He didn't even count.
Yeah.
No, he lied. He just rushed it through. One woman claimed that she said, I guess privately, that it got too complicated dealing with what people wanted to vote on, so she would just buy whatever she wanted with the money.
Wow.
Yeah.
At least she's honest.
So anyway, I know I'm going off on a tangent on Occupy stuff.
That's all right.
But there was early on, I guess a lot of people don't know this. There were older people there. There were libertarians there. There were people waving the American flag. There were conservatives. And two things conspired to end that. The first is that young people have more ability to just sleep in a park. There was like a 60-year-old man and woman. Well, they can't sleep in a park.
So their Woodstock days are over.
Right. They showed up. They were there for one weekend, came back the next weekend, and then went home. The people who had jobs said that was a fun weekend and went home. But the people who were, there was a couple trust fund kids there. Like, they just had trust funds. They didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they were there all the time, controlling and dictating and completely clueless how to make these things run. So you ended up with conservatives who have jobs, libertarians who have jobs, and older people who tended to be conservative needing to leaving nothing but young idealists who didn't work.
Interesting. Natural
Great.
selection.
And then several weeks later, it was a bunch of young people who didn't do anything. There was a lot of corruption, man. There was something happened where rumors started spreading that Radiohead was going to play a performance. Totally fake. And then when thousands of people showed up, they were like, Radiohead's not playing, but now we're going to do a general assembly and you're going to stay. And everyone was scared because they didn't want to create the appearance that they only showed up for Radiohead. So it tricked thousands of people into staying in the park for that duration.
Yeah.
Dude, that stuff was so corrupt. And what's funny is, what's really, really scary about my experience with Occupy Wall Street?
What?
I'm not going to write a book about it. The people who do write books about it are the ones who are romanticizing it.
You got to write a book about it, Tim.
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't care.
Oh.
And that's the point. Maybe if I write a book at some point, I will write about it.
Yeah.
But you know what'll happen? 12, 24, 36 activists will say Tim Pool's lying. That never happened. And then they'll say, oh, well, it's disputed. See, all of these people who are there agree. Yeah, all the people who want it to be glorified.
Right.
Who ignore the corruption, who ignore how money was stolen.
Or were part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The people who'd be accused would be... So what'll happen is they'll do a fact check and they'll be like, well, they say it never happened. You say it did. And this other guy said you're lying. So now we have 3 people saying you're lying. That's why I'm not going to get involved. There have already been books written about it that glorify everything.
Well, I was
they've
there
done.
with you. I can vouch for you.
Occupy?
Yeah. Second person.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when I first met you.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I don't remember meeting you
What?
at Occupy.
Yep.
Holy
You
cow.
briefly... You mentioned it to me before, but I only remember meeting you at the game shop in 2014.
That's what. Yeah, that's true. Well, I was there at Wall Street, and I saw you and Luke.
Oh,
and,
right on.
And I think I said no, I don't think I said anything. Maybe we didn't meet at that time. But
Were
I
you
don't know,
like,
we didn't-
oh, that's Tim
pretty
Pool?
sure.
The first time we met.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
was
at the game shop. Yeah.
And then you were like, come hang out. We play poker night, but it's Magic. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
man.
I went down there a few times though.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
At first, it was kind of cool.
Saw
and
that
then
all happening.
it had this period where it became Colonial Williamsburg,
Mm-hmm.
where like tourists were walking in. One of the funniest things was when they gave dumpster food to tourists. I love that. I walked up and I watched them handing out food to tourists. Like tourists would come by and they would have food laid out and they'd be like, "Ooh, what's this?" And like, "It's free. You can have it."
Little did I know there was vegan pizza. No, I wasn't vegan at the time.
But no, it was funny because I watched them giving out food, and then I asked them where they got the food from, and they were like dumpster diving.
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you crazy? Do you have any idea what the press would say if they found out you were giving dumpster food to people?" And they immediately panicked and like shuffled it into the trash,
oh my
and were
gosh,
like,
what
"Oops."
were they thinking?
They're idealistic hippies who think that like dumpster food is fine. Like they weren't giving people like rotten burgers that were half eaten.
It's like stuff people
It
throw
was
away.
like sealed yogurts that were like a day from expiration. And the
Gross.
point I'm making is not that like they've got moldy food and
Freegans.
Exactly. They were freegans. They were finding stores that were getting rid of food that was about to spoil or a couple days past expiration.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's still food and it's still good. You know what's scary about that though? These freegans don't realize that you might not see the mold or the botulism on it.
I think it's gross.
That's
Yeah,
why you get rid of
a
it.
little little
It's
sketchy.
gross.
They say
good.
that like when you see the mold on the bread, that means the bread was already moldy. Like
Yeah.
the mold is on it before you can't see it.
Oh yeah.
They were giving that stuff out. Yeah, dude. So it's very much so in the vein of history is written by the winners. You've got all of these activists who want it to be this like the glorious revolution
Yeah.
of Occupy, when in reality it was a mashup, mangled, like conspiracy-ridden, corrupt, really just awful thing. But I will tell you one funny thing about it. The evolution of music at Occupy Wall Street was absolutely hilarious. When Occupy first started, people were just banging on buckets. Dum, 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 dum. Then all of a sudden they introduced some like wind instruments. Then someone showed up like, doo, 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 doo. Then someone brought string, and I'm like, by the end of it, there was a full band with real drums and and I was like, it was almost like the evolution of humanity
yeah, like
in
literally
music.
the evolution of music
Yeah.
from the Stone Age.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Like they slowly started incorporating more and more instruments. That to me
so
was
funny.
really, really funny. But yeah, so let's do this. Let's talk about Cassandra.
Yeah, let's do this.
So okay,
It is pretty funny. What's going on?
Cassandra. may
She's
be
having
watching.
a field day.
Cassandra Fairbanks is a friend of mine. She is a high-profile journalist personality, Twitterer. Depending on who you ask, like there's one article that calls her like a MAGA influencer.
I feel like anyone, you either love her or you can't stand her at all.
I mean,
I don't think there's a middle ground with her because she's, she's just a bold personality.
she's trolling really, really hard on. So anyway,
Yeah,
let me
she's a proper troll.
let's pull up this tweet right here. The reason why this story is epic is that cancel culture is coming for Cassandra Fairbanks, and there's nothing they can do. So let me show you this first tweet. Cassandra, you may follow her. She's got a couple 100,000 followers. She works for the Gateway Pundit. She also writes for the District Herald. And she, for a long time, was like a very high-profile Trump supporter. I don't know if you could call her a Trump supporter right now, but I don't really know what to call Cassandra other than, what did she say? Federal court says I trolled the web through Twitter, an information terrorist per Wired. Free press, free speech, free Assange, District Herald. So there you go. She's a high-profile Twitterer and writer. And so she started tweeting offensive things about the looters. Now, I shouldn't say offensive. She started saying things like, looting your own community and burning down your own community is not justice.
Yeah.
And then people started coming at her being like, F you, you're the worst. So
Oh, yeah.
she leaned hard into
What
it.
a spicy
she
take.
leaned into the wind.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So now they want to get her
man.
canceled, and this really made my day. Someone said, get her fired, and she responded, you can't, LOL. That's why this is so fun. I've been canceled like 5 times, so I'm prepared. I have multiple sources of income, and they're rage mob proof. And here's where it gets really hilarious. It's awesome. So this guy tweets at the District Herald, this is what we allowing now? She can't be touched? Oh, word?
Allowing this.
Like, okay.
Karen.
So yeah. Karen. This guy's Karen times 10. So hold on. He quote tweets Cassandra, adding District Herald, because she writes for District Herald, thinking, oh, she can't be
writes for her.
touched? Oh, yeah, right? Not realizing that's her. You can't cancel her. It's her company. She writes for it. And then she said, I'm never going to stop laughing at this. And I don't know if I have the tweet pulled up. Oh, this one's funny too. We'll come back to that one. But
I think it's the next one right here.
this one? Yes, there it is. So she quote tweets the guy who tries to get her canceled saying, are we allowing this now? Saying, we are shocked by this behavior and will be responding appropriately by giving her a raise. Dude, it's amazing. Cancel culture is failing.
Counter troll.
Counter troll. It's I mentioned this. I did a segment on this earlier. When Joe mentioned in that interview with Barry Weiss that podcasters going independent means they can't get canceled. They don't work for anybody. And I'm like, now this is an epic iteration of that. Yeah, cheers, mate. This is the best. All of these, internet Karens who are like, I want to speak to the manager.
Yep.
Tagging your like trying to tag your job to get you fired. Sorry, buddy. Don't work anymore.
Nope.
I hope that as more people become independent, because Cassandra can't get canceled for being a troll on Twitter, and she's clearly joking with a lot of the things she's saying, like trying to troll people.
Yeah.
I hope companies see this and then stop reacting. Because what's going to happen right now? Is District Herald going to lose advertisers? No.
Nope.
I don't even know if it does have any. Is Cassandra going to get fired? What, is she going to fire herself? Can't do anything.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. And so now think about all the other companies that are susceptible to this. I mean, what happens in the end? I'll tell you, man. I worked for a big company, and I don't want to work there anymore because of this kind of stuff.
Yep.
I started my own company.
I'm so happy you're my boss.
Same, honestly.
But
Right?
Yeah.
but now it's no one can tell me what to do. So think about what happens at all these big companies where they have hot talent. Do you want to risk getting fired?
No.
Nah, you gotta start your own company, man.
Yeah.
So there's
or work for someone who's awesome,
Yes.
who believes in
Well,
this kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Like I'm sure working for Cassandra at District Herald, you'd be fine. You'd be safe.
You'd be trolling, and they would tag District Herald, and then she'd like high five you. Yeah. She'd be like, "Good job triggering all those morons."
Here's your troll raise.
Your
Well,
bonus.
so
Your troll bonus.
So I have to do a shout out to this Cassandra tweet because it's one of my favorite memes ever. I retweeted it. Democrats defending Joe Biden be like, "Don't touch my garbage," and it's a possum snarling in a dumpster. I
believe
love it.
he's reeing.
I just love it because it's so cute. A little garbage mangler. You
Yeah.
know, like, don't touch my garbage. That's right. Joe Biden is garbage. I totally forgot. Oh yeah. So here's what I was going to bring up, right? When we're talking about working for cool bosses, I can't remember which company this was. It might be the Federalist. You might know this one, where the boss made a joke about unionizing.
Okay.
And like the staff is all not interested in forming a union because they're more conservative.
Okay.
But the National Labor Board actually went after them.
Really?
So this guy so here's what happens, I think. Can you look this up? I think it was the Federalist, was it?
I'm looking at Barstool.
Was it Barstool?
That was one
no,
of
No,
them.
Barstool was I think it was David Portnoy. He's the guy. So he made a joke about it.
Okay.
And then they've made him put up a sign and like pay a fine or something. But there was another company where maybe was it
Reason?
Was it Reason?
Reason Magazine?
Yeah,
Possibly?
that might be it.
I'm not sure. This is just what I'm finding off the top of the.
Someone wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal about it,
Oh, okay.
saying like basically what happened was some company announced they were going to unionize.
Okay.
And then he made a joke saying like, "I'll throw you in the Sarlacc pit," or whatever. Like
From Star Wars?
yeah, something like that. Like very clearly a joke that was
Yeah.
meant to be
How my
exaggerated.
joke on Twitter became a federal case.
There you go. That's
Members of the Vox Media Union demanded a contract. Is that it?
it. How my
Oh, that might not be it.
I'm
I'll keep looking.
When's it from? I'm pretty sure that's it.
That is from April 2020.
Yes. And so what happened
That's it?
was
Okay.
he was making fun of Vox and said something of like mocking the union. Yeah, look through it. Just
Yeah.
like
So,
what company is it?
It's Wall Street Journal, so I can't read the full story. He's just telling a story. He's under federal investigation for making a joke on Twitter. In June 2019, employees at the left liberal Vox Media Inc. walked off the job demanding a new collective bargaining agreement. As the publisher of a conservative website, yes, the Federalist, you were right.
Boom.
I found the clash ironic. FYI, at the Federalist, first one of you tries to unionize, I swear I'll send you to the salt mine.
There you go.
Back
Salt
to
mine.
the salt mine.
Back to
Yeah.
the salt mine. There's no real salt mine. Now they're being investigated. And even though every employee was like, he was kidding, we really aren't concerned about union stifling.
Yeah.
The government was like, don't care.
So the government was being the Karen in this situation?
Yes.
Always.
Government Karen.
So that's
Yeah.
that's the point I'm making, right? You might work for a cool company. That's not enough.
Yeah.
You need to be your own boss, and you need to be on a that's ridiculous. If you have a certain number of employees, you can't even make a joke because the government will come at you and say, "Well, you know, you're scaring your employees."
Wow.
I'd like to speak to the manager.
Yup. Literally,
As
they
it
send
were.
a letter.
Yeah.
This letter is for the manager. Yeah. Oh, that means getting played out.
Oh,
but
yeah,
but,
for sure.
but here's the point. Rest assured, no matter what you do, someone's going to try and jam you up.
Yep.
So you can get past the SJWs, but somebody working in government is going to use that weight to throw against you, and that's ridiculous. So I don't know. I guess we should jump to super chats because we were supposed to stagger.
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
we
we
didn't.
were. All right,
and
let's
we
do
do have a DC segment I really want to do.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we'll do super
Oh, yeah.
chats
Talk about-
first.
Yeah, let's do super chats.
All right.
Well, we have two more segments, but yeah,
gosh.
let's do
We can
super
make
chats.
Oh, I mean, arguably we have more than
I know
that.
we have a
so
few more.
I think
So
we can get to one more. But the first thing I need to say is, I was right. Adam was wrong. It's Dark Side.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true. It's
All
Dark
right, all
Side,
right.
not
I'm
Dark
just
Seed.
We just.
But
I looked
you
up-
should know that because you were the one reading and watching the show more than me.
I know, and I called him Dark Side, and you were like, "No, I'm pretty sure it's Dark Seed," and I was like,
It's spelled weird, okay?
You should have stood firm. So I blame
"It's
you.
been a long time."
I blame
since
you.
Watched.
As you
You
should.
know.
Always blame Tim.
So we're gonna jump to your super chats.
Yeah.
And there's probably just, I got to be honest, like way too many. But one thing you can do is smash the like button.
Smash
Or
it.
give
Gently.
a little tap.
Gently, please. You
Just
need to
as
hear.
long
Smash
as
or bust.
the screen
Got to be able to watch it again tomorrow.
really does help. And make sure you follow at Timcast if you want to get skateboarding, pictures of cats on Instagram.
yeah, good
but I
stuff.
complain a lot on Twitter. So if you're into that,
Complaining
about cultural issues and stuff.
And making fun. You
I
make,
know, I'm
you make
kidding.
fun
He
of stuff
does.
too.
being
Yeah,
self-deprecating.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm sassy on Twitter, and people are always
That's the most
Sassy.
accurate. Yeah.
they're like, I wish Twitter Tim was YouTube Tim, because Twitter Tim is always swearing and like going like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
the snap.
It's
Oh
true.
yeah,
Yeah, doing the snap
It's
and-
true, and I love
Yep.
it.
the Twitter equivalent of whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, that's like Twitter is me just like flipping up on my phone and being like, "Nyeh," and then like putting my phone down. YouTube is me being like,
I'm at
well,
work
I've done
now.
some research today, and
Yes.
here's what I
I'd like
think.
to
You
read
know?
you the news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do the news, and I'll give you some expression. But also, follow at Adam Krigler.
Yeah, follow me.
There he is.
Why don't you come to my Twitter and tell me how much you can't stand me?
Oh yeah.
I see you in chat.
I'm gonna do
And
it.
I don't care. You guys can,
Ooh.
this is the thing. I'm on the show and I'm constantly learning stuff. And I admit that I learn stuff. I can be wrong. And I don't care if you yell at me for being wrong. That's all right. That's fine. So come at me. Come find me on
Come at
Twitter.
me, bro.
There it is. Here. Come tweet at me. Tweet how wrong I was. That's fine.
Air your grievances.
But
it's okay.
You can also.
But you can also give me stories that we can actually talk about on this show,
Not
and we
just
and
complaining.
that actually works. So a lot of you help me out a lot. I actually have a pinned tweet. You can hit me up and give me some awesome stories. And there's over 100, I think even more. I don't even know how many stories I got going right now. It's great though. So
All right.
I appreciate you all.
I'm gonna prove this.
Prove it.
Take a look at this right here. This is the tweet we showed earlier. What is this? At Sour Patch Lids, at Timcast, and at Adam Krigler, tagged by F. Yeah Colin on Twitter,
Bruh,
alerting
best
us
audience ever.
to this news.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I sent that
So,
to Tim. I'm like, hey, look at that.
Now, here's the thing for me. I can't check all of my Twitter notifications because I get too many.
Yeah.
And that's why Adam is relegated to the task of being the liaison for the show.
Yep. I
great.
have a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
have a
so
lot
he
of
can
fun.
interact and go
Yeah.
through suggestions and stuff and more easily find that stuff. I can't. It's like if I click my
Yeah.
notifications, it's just a whole bunch of Tim Pool is bald and like Pim Tool and like you're a moron, and I'm like,
Such
yeah, okay,
nonsense.
I get it, guys. That's all right. All right, I'm gonna close this now because I can't learn anything.
Oh yeah.
But all right, let's grab these super chats, and we got a bunch. So let's read through this, and then we're gonna talk about the Snyder Cut, Dark Side, and Henry Cavill may be coming back to Batman.
No, he is.
He's back to Batman.
It's
Okay.
confirmed.
Superman.
It's
Come on, guys. Let's get this
It's
straight.
confirmed.
But considering how crazy everything's been, we just did this really heavy opening story. Like,
Yeah.
we had so much fun yesterday talking about Joe Biden farting.
That was
I
great.
hope you guys saw
That
it.
was the best.
I had a
It was
lot of fun.
That clip did really
Laughing.
well.
He was laughing and just freeze framing Joe Biden's face, and then like today I'm sitting here and like I think we got like the riots are happening right now, man. Like we got
they're going
we
on
have to
right
talk
now.
about it
Dude,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Arrests in New York City, 30 arrests, and so I'm like. We ended up seeing this DC news, and I'm like, this is what we need to kind of round this off at the end and
Yeah.
have some fun and talk about Batman
Totally.
and Superman.
Yeah.
But that means we're going
Not
to talk
that,
about
yeah,
a bunch
there
of,
we
we're
go.
going to grab your super chats, and we're going to read through them, so I hope you guys are ready for this. King Canuck says, we didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping you lovely gets and lady are eating popcorn as everything goes sideways.
Yep.
Is
Riots-
it gents?
Gents, yeah.
Gents, sorry. Oh, but there's no N. Yeah. Gents and ladies, as everything goes sideways, riots, pandemics, and no haircuts. Yeah, man.
Struggle.
I'm sitting in my bed, and I saw the news. They were lighting everything on fire and destroying everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look over, and there's a bow. And I'm like, I have a bow.
Yep.
Like, it's not a gun, but
It's something.
yeah. And I'm like, I don't where we are, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anything's been happening near us. I haven't heard of any protests in Philly. Maybe there are, but not nearly as crazy as what we've seen in the rest of the country. Oh, we have Donald Trump here.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Welcome.
I'm sorry.
Welcome,
Hold on.
sir.
It's Trump with two P's.
Oh.
So it's not the same one.
Boo.
IB Rippenham is right. Fart speech is free speech. Vote Trump, and I will make sure you're able to send people as much fart correspondence as you like. Interesting point. Air is freely able to come out of both ends in both his speech.
It's true.
King
like
Canuck
that.
says, lesser note, Adam, read The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. Low fantasy noir adventure that gradually ramps up high fantasy. He's a personal friend of Sanderson who loves the books, if that helps.
I'm
Someone
writing it
else
down.
actually said this to me. I think during Adamcast. It could have been you actually. I don't even know. But yeah, I'll check that out. Dresden Files.
Note taken.
$1 liner says, hey, Tim, just bought the new Harumph t-shirt.
Yes.
Can't wait to get it. When
Dope.
you move, please let us know your P.O. box. I have a gift I want to send you. Well, there's a P.O. box now, and it's probably not going to change. It's if you go to timcast.com/donate, there's a P.O. box, so, send away. And if you would like one of the Harumph I Say t-shirts, I think it's just under the YouTube video.
Yeah, just scroll down a little
You
bit.
should be able to just scroll down and it's there. And if not, it's
No, it's there.
Well, it's for you, but maybe not for everybody else. So
Okay.
if you don't see it, there's a link in the description. And I'm more eager to be getting the other 2 t-shirts, which
Yeah.
will be one for Adam and Lydia.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'll be.
I don't
But
either.
do you have
We
any
don't
idea?
know yet.
No, I haven't gotten back to
Mystery.
him yet.
All right. Well, that'll be fun too. Also, skateboards. I'm working on skateboards
Ooh.
And beanies.
and beanies.
Beanies
And
are
with
coming.
The beanies, yeah.
Skateboards and
Skateboards
beanies.
coming too.
It's gonna be weird. Like, it's kind of dumb to buy yourself your own pro model. You know.
Yeah, try it.
Some pro skateboarder got booted off a team and then
Mhm.
started his own company and made himself pro, and everyone made fun of him for it.
Okay.
And he was like, I don't care, I make money and I skate. So it's like, who cares?
Yeah, that's just people being jealous of someone else's
Skate-
success.
But skateboarding is really weird because am and pro are meaningless.
right.
So like the real definition of a professional means you get paid to do something.
Exactly.
And they call people amateur skaters and they get paychecks. It makes no sense.
Right.
Like as soon as they cut you a check and put you on the team, you're pro. But in skateboard culture, it's like you go am and then you go pro. It's like, dude, if you're a pro skateboarder if you give skateboarding lessons, like the bare minimum.
Wow, I guess I was
You
pro for
sure
a long
are.
time
Yeah,
then.
that's why
Well,
he calls you pro.
Dope.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that because you actually rode for a team.
I also rode for a
and
team.
you designed boards
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I did that too.
Yeah. So, all right,
right.
let's read some more. IB Rippenham says that wasn't me. It really was Donald Trump. I swear, you believe me, right,
I don't
guys?
believe it.
I
do
believe
not
you, IB.
that. No,
Grim
man.
Soul
I believe
Banisher
you.
says, just want to clarify, my daughter's lack of surgery is not life-threatening. Hopefully we get this headache sorted soon. Also, spin the UFO.
All right.
Oh, do it.
I
That
heard
was,
you.
And that was from an hour
Doing
ago.
For an hour
Brian
ago.
says
Oh, gosh.
230 applies to Reddit, right? Spez probably regrets making them a publisher now. Oh, yeah. Christian says, hi, Tim and Co. Just started my own channel. You've
go.
inspired me. Any tips regarding camera and mic or anything in general? Metal forever. When I first started making videos, I had a GoPro 4 and I put it on top of my monitor and I just pressed record.
Sounds great.
And then I would talk for 10 minutes and I had barely any idea what I was doing and I was getting like no views, but I don't know. I like doing it.
Yep.
So the only real advice is that you have to start somewhere with whatever you have and just use it. Don't worry about someone being like, you got to buy this specific camera. Oh, get a camera. Get one that works. Get one that films you. Get one that can record sound. Your phone is probably enough. And then don't worry too much about your gear. Worry about refining your stuff as you go.
And being comfortable in front of the camera and
Right.
speaking.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's
that's another thing.
The big secret to successful companies, you never want to, you don't want to build a castle with a heavy foundation because then you build it and then realize you built it in the wrong spot. You want to slowly start building and then figure out what the space you're at can accommodate and what you need to change. It's one of the biggest mistakes startups make, new businesses. They'll get a big investment and they'll be like, okay, we're going to build a $1 million studio. And then they do. And then they're like, oh, the internet here isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And they go, oh man, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting a little, bedroom, looking at the internet and going, the internet sucks. We got to move.
Yep.
The first thing they would have done. So that's my advice. Jared says, hey guys, listen to police scanners all night. Police change to different county frequency. Hennepin County scanner was down last I checked. Yeah, and they start, I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to do this, but like something happened once where they like switched to encrypted and it created a huge controversy. Stigma of the Rose says, tried to super chat the no Chinese words by themselves and it wouldn't let me send.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They're censoring
Yep.
YouTube
YouTube
comments.
is still censoring things that insult the Chinese Communist Party.
Wow.
Gotta love it.
Ooh.
JDR says, great work, TimcastIRL team. Good news, sports are back, at least superbike racing.
Oh,
Moto
nice.
America Round 1 starts tomorrow at Road America. Cool.
Very cool.
Glad to hear it. Jesus says, here is my weekly due to the Beanie Union. I was supposed to super chat yesterday, but I had to donate the cash for a lifetime membership to, what is that, MeUndies?
Oh,
for
yeah.
Biden? What is it?
Undies.
MeUndies for Biden.
Underwear for
and
Biden.
Swalwell seems like they needed a fresh pair.
I hear
Fart
they
bait.
have inner depends liners.
Oh, do they? Oh,
No.
very cool.
I don't want to think about the physiology of
Nope.
Joe Biden as to make that sound possible.
Nope.
Big Ben Howard says, Dapper, dare I say, Tim shirts when? Dare I say? I mean, whenever somebody
Dare I
made the
say?
Harumph I Say shirt.
It's fantastic.
Someone commented, I want it. Someone else made it. And then Adam was like, check it out.
That's
And
how
I
our
was
channel
like,
works.
let's do it.
Magic.
Yeah, you got to tweet stuff at Adam.
So yeah,
that-
if you got good ideas, right
Ask.
there, that's how. Boom, send it
Ask
to me.
and you
Or
receive. Oh, wait. Yeah. Wait. Oh, I'm over here.
Boom.
Yeah. I read all my messages.
It's Sour
Yeah.
Patch Lids with a Y, L-Y-D-S.
yeah,
Yeah, it's my
and if you are listening, it's at ADAMCRIGLER.
Yeah.
That's my name.
Let's see. Long Dong John says, one day there will be 10-story tall statues of Tim and Lydia, and in between them a 20-story tall statue of Adam. Oh, very bold.
Oh, wow.
Long Dong John.
Spicy.
And I will
like
be
that.
I will be like, you know,
Blessing us,
blessing
I
you
hope.
both.
Sir Average Joe says, Fartgate 2. I don't want to read.
Nope.
Electric Poogaloo. Also, when you have so much overreach by government, how should they expect people to react? This isn't our first rodeo. I think what's really crazy about this is there was actually like a photo of a guy holding the Boogaloo flag in Minnesota.
Okay.
Like,
And then
that's not a lefty kind of thing. I mean, I don't know what to call it, but it's people saying like Boogaloo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not what you'd expect from Antifa, or maybe you would, I guess. Minmax says, Tim, the other day, Trudeau had a journalist from Rebel News dragged out of a press event for no reason. Please cover this. It's right up your alley. It is Canada. And so I mean this with all due respect. I don't know enough about Canada. So Canada has come up in certain stories. I have done videos about Trudeau, but I probably sound, I sound stupid enough as it is, let alone talking about a different country.
Yeah.
Connor Anderson says, I live at the Stone Arch Bridge in downtown Minneapolis. It's safe in my area, but rioters are a few miles away. My opinion is that everyone needs a gun to shoot the rioters the second they break in. It depends, but I believe people have a right to defend themselves. So the first and foremost, I think we have to say we really don't want it to come to that, 100%. But I understand why people would be scared and want to defend themselves, especially if people are starting fires and burning these buildings down. Because if somebody breaks into your building, you don't know what they're going to be doing. And if they burn the building down, a lot of people can die. So I hate to see it. I would only ask for de-escalation. It's the best way I can put it.
Yep.
But I wouldn't fault someone for defending themselves. Wolfsbane says, hey, Tim, Lydia, and Soy Jesus. Tim, I wanted you to know that the first 2 videos today weren't showing up today. Had to go to your channels to find them. I mean, that's an improvement from last week when they just didn't put it on my channel at all, and no one could find it even if they tried.
We had so many people telling
Yep.
us that.
Joseph Sorty says, saw a video of a handicapped woman in her electric wheelchair at the Target getting attacked by looters, punching, throwing objects, sprayed with fire extinguisher. Looters have no shame. She was holding a knife,
Yes.
and they were claiming she was stabbing people. All you can really say is these are people in a fight. The woman in the wheelchair was trying to block the door, I guess. I don't want to assume, but she was holding a knife. They grabbed her wrist and then pulled it out of her hand and then started throwing things at her. They sprayed her. David, Tim moved to Syracuse Sedeno. Great name, by the way.
That's commitment.
Are you just going to sell decks or full 9 with grip tape, trucks, wheels, and bearings? Just deck, let me build from there. I got my likes. So it's probably going to be through the store as it appears already under the YouTube channel.
I'm sure it's just going to be a deck.
It will just be a deck. You have to get your own grip and everything. But it depends. If they can properly source good boards, otherwise I'm not going to put my name literally on a
Yeah,
bad
we're
board.
gonna test them.
That's a
If
game
if I
changer.
skate it, if I like it, I'll sell it. And if they can't, then we'll end up selling them like physically through our own, storefront of some sort, where we get our own pro models and good shapes and everything. I think they'll be able to source proper boards. I really do. I think
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I also want to make sure they're American made for sure. Luke Walter says, would you consider an IPO if your new venture takes off? I don't know enough to say anything about that. Yes. I'd imagine if in 20 years I have a company that's like a big successful media company, then definitely. But like even Vice hasn't done an IPO. So Oscar Corneo says, thanks for keeping me sane during the lockdown. Loved that song Remember When from the first jam session. Any chance you can upload that to iTunes? Also, what's the style of music called? What Tim was singing. That's the song.
How would
that's,
you describe your music?
I don't know. No
Pop
idea.
rock?
Indie.
Indie pop?
It's all different.
Yeah.
Some songs are
indie.
folk acoustic. Some songs are acoustic rock. Some are punk. I have no idea.
Yeah, you got a good sound though.
I don't know, man. Well, feel free to download the song somehow and keep it. We're working on recording now, actually. We have some paperwork from one of the songs I ran. It's like sitting right next to me. And actually, I just spent the last hour going over a bunch of songs we're playing on recording, which at some point will come out. I got some really good songs, man. It's not the songs. It's the full product. So the first, I've got some songs that accompany a visual that tells a story. And this will be really, I'm really excited for these things to come out. Outlaw Bear says, I super chatted Voldemort's name to channels I don't know this week. Sometimes with no context, nothing happened. I believe this is a case of bad police training, not racism. Many always in the news. Yeah. It's you can't have cops who are trained poorly. You can't enforce an institution to not care about someone's life and have this happen. The Batman says, I live near Minneapolis. More people coming in will only make this worse. Rioting doesn't solve any issues. It only hurts people. Dan Bordeaux says, Twitter idiots are saying Minnesota is like the Boston Tea Party. The Sons of Liberty targeted just the tea from the government-backed EITC. The only damage, a padlock owned by a ship's captain, was replaced the next morning. There is so much about this where I'm like, they're trying to conflate these things. It's like, I'm sorry, man. Dan, you nailed it on exactly what this is. A targeted organization that, yes, wore masks and damaged just the tea to make a point about the tea. And there's still questions you can raise about, the justification of doing that. I'm totally cool with that. But come on, man. You can't compare someone burning down low-income housing to the Boston Tea Party. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Dan messaged me. He was talking about the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to do anything with it.
Yep. Abigail, thanks for the super chat. Darian Collins says, the people that started fires and destruction are being paid by George Soros. They are Antifa. This party is older than World War II. Same flag. I don't know about the George Soros payment thing, but many of them are Antifa for sure. Oh, actually, I can actually comment on the George Soros thing. So I can tell you one instance. There were people who were down at Occupy Wall Street who were telling everyone jokingly how they were paid by Soros. But the reality was they worked for a nonprofit that received Soros funding.
Huh.
So you could technically say they were paid by Soros. But then here's what I'll tell you. Stop saying people are paid by George Soros. Just stop saying it. It's not literally true. And so what happens is the left all of a sudden goes, where's my Soros check? I wish. Meanwhile, they get a paycheck from a nonprofit that's funded by George Soros. They're not smart enough to connect the dots. So the appropriate thing to say is Soros is funding nonprofits that has activists at these rallies and events. Sometimes. And I've had high-profile activists tell me straight up they receive funding directly from him. And for their organizations, like the people who run them.
It might be good to look up a list of organizations he funds.
It's a ridiculous
so
number.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous number. Alex Oakley says, I usually work third shift, and I don't get to watch you guys live a lot, but this is the second time this week I get to watch live.
Woo.
Do you think the riots might actually lead to more lockdowns? Try to say can't trust the general public lockdown. The funny thing is Governor Whitmer is like locking things down more.
Yep.
It's like these, what, man, how many articles did we get where they were like, these conservatives aren't respecting social distancing? And now there's riots going on and like, peep.
It's like not
nothing.
a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yep. No one's complaining about social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Max Reed says, skipping Crowder live stream to watch my favorite trio. If you like Stephen King's The Stand, you might like Swan Song by Robert McCammon even more. I don't like competing with Crowder. I like Crowder.
But thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Caboose, a.k.a. Kyle. Don't make me get you on a roof like a L.A. Korean. Hey, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very difficult story. Like, how do you explain this in today's context? You know about the roof Koreans?
Mm-hmm.
People in Koreatown were having their businesses destroyed. They went up on the roofs with guns. It was like kill or be killed. They were getting shot at, so they were shooting back.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't even imagine that happening today. Yeah, man. Ascendiant Media says lockdowns were always going to result in large-scale riots. It just takes a catalyst. John McAfee had a tweet. He deleted it because he got the governor wrong, but he said, this is what happens when you get everyone, when you build up tensions by locking everyone down and then set it off with one event.
Yep.
And here we are. He's
Early
right.
fireworks.
Skeptical Strom, thanks for the super chat. Ammon Soul says, I used to work in law enforcement. People often act sick or injured to get the cops to lower their guard so they can come up swinging. This is wrong. Yeah, they do. I agree. So I would argue that if you have 5 cops and one guy on the ground and they're saying they can't breathe, then you need to get your cops over there to help you. It's tough, man. You're surrounded by people. They're all yelling at you. But I don't know, man. You can't. It's better that listen. It's better the man escape than die.
Yeah.
Sorry. I understand there's probably a nuance in that. Like if you caught this guy covered in blood and like there's dead people all around, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That sounds
In this
like the death
instance, the
penalty.
guy was forging and like let the guy escape other than letting him die, man.
Well,
Jared-
we don't even know what he was doing.
Right. The story now is that it was over a $20 bill that was counterfeit.
Right.
And the assumption that he knew was counterfeit.
That we don't know.
I know.
Yeah, we also don't know that.
Jared Milner says Duncan Lemp camera footage is still not released. And that too. The dude was like in his bed. Then his girlfriend got shot too. The Duncan Lemp story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cloudy Commentary says, today is a big news day. Reality seriously shifted yet again. It's like the lockdown just went off. Trump's like executive order, and then like all these cities are blowing up, and it's like, man, what's going on? Trooper Bear says, welcome to the Tim Pool Beanie Experience. Oh yes, the TPBE.
We just got to get Lydia on a beanie.
Yeah, I'll get one.
yeah.
I will get one.
We got the
eventually.
UFO spinning.
Yep, there's the UFO.
Earth is looking crisp. I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is.
Anthony Mendoza says, how much do I need to donate to see you without a beanie, Tim? I think we agreed on $500,000.
500 grand. 500 grand.
The Rising Refugee says the man shouldn't have died and those cops should be arrested. But is the media going to complain about them not social distancing? Good point.
Yeah, we just talked about that, right?
Skeptical Strom says, Tim, would you do a story on the dancing Israelis? You might find it significant.
Dancing
I don't know.
Israelis?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Grant Thompson says, any word about what's going on with Brian Sims in Pennsylvania, accusing House Republicans of infecting, jeopardizing House Democrats? What? Infecting Democrats' health? He live streamed and threw out a lot of accusations. That dude's nuts.
I don't know anything about that.
Isn't he the one who yelled at kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He like went up to some little kids and started yelling at them and then had to apologize for it.
He cusses a
Yeah.
lot.
Why-
Because they were
why are you
pro-life.
yelling
They
at
were,
kids?
they were like holding a pro-life sign.
Uh-huh.
So he like started filming and yelling, and it was like 14-year-old girls. It's weird.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna
He's
help.
a-
That's
he's-
gonna help, buddy.
He's a Pennsylvania state legislator of some sort.
Oh, yeah, lawmaker,
Nice.
representative.
So wait. A new super chat just came in. Something about someone burned a whole city in Norfolk. All right, let's see where we
Wow.
at. Mike Mamberg says Sarah Silverman's tweet was actually a good Second Amendment argument. Yeah, so Sarah Silverman basically said, look at all these white protesters with guns and nothing happens. And then these Black Lives Matter protesters come out and they get attacked. And everyone's like, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have been
Armed.
and organized.
Mhm.
That's, yeah. Oh, man, I got allergies. It's getting really bad. Odium says, many in Antifa are professional rioters. They will travel to other cities just to throw rocks and set fire to stuff. They don't care about the cause.
You think that's what it was?
Some of them, yes, but there are what we call the tourists. During Occupy Wall Street, me and several other journalists, or I should say several other journalists coined this term that I later started using, called the tourists.
Yeah.
High-profile activists who fly around the world engaging in and organizing protests. Some of them would go to China, Europe, and they would lead protests.
Wow.
Yeah, they call them the tourists. They show up to other countries. It's like, do you even know why you're protesting in China?
No,
Nope.
but I see the next super chat though.
Oh.
Spin the UFO says, I can't read that. Red Pill Renegade says, but the Michigan protests were a risk to health. Oh, yeah.
And these ones aren't.
Kuya Chris says, hit F for friends.
Aw.
King Canuck says, not low-income housing. It was higher-end stuff. Adam, check your Twitter. I sent you the info.
Cool. Check
Well,
it out.
it was reported by the Michigan Star Tribune that affordable housing that was being built was torched. Make station wagons great again. People who grow up on Jackass catching feelings about spraying somebody with a fire extinguisher. Come on. Man, I got bad allergies. It's getting to me. Jessica Cora. They had all these local business owners who had their restaurants and stores burned down, and they're all black. Why burn down your own neighborhood? The people aren't from that neighborhood.
The tourists.
Well, no, it's like, in this instance,
Well, it could be.
the tourists was a group of like 40 people who you'd be like, why did I see you in a photograph in Japan? That's
Oh,
weird.
okay. I see. Yeah.
And they were high profile, well funded, and it was weird. I'll say well funded with air quotes.
Mhm.
But these people are like, they live 30 miles south of Minneapolis, and they're like, quick, we gotta go up.
Yeah.
DG says, remember when people were mad about conservatives protesting during Corona because it would help spread? I love Lydia, so beautiful, marry me. Well, there you go.
That's
Thank you.
sweet.
Oscar Cornejo says, shout out to Beanie Jesus and Beanie Pim Tool. Lydia needs to assimilate and wear a beanie too. Much love, y'all. Appreciate it.
I will.
TIY991 says, enough is enough. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Duncan Lemp, all in the last month. I'm not going to read the rest of this one because I can't.
Yeah.
Weeb Luke says, yo, Tim, I think Dave Chappelle is right. We should all register legally for 2A. That way the laws will change. Yeah, Dave Chappelle had a really good take on it. Second Amendment is there to protect the First. I think most people are familiar with the argument. Or it's just there in case the first one doesn't work out.
Yep.
Joseph Taylor says, I had to get fingerprinted for a background check to study internationally. Everyone in the room automatically assumed guilt, and I was a criminal. Wow.
Jeez.
Anti-NWO Canada says, hi, the word is COINTELPRO. That is one of it, but
Spook is another word.
the word's
for
on
it.
top of my tongue. Tip of my tongue. It's because I haven't used it in so long.
Agitator?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe.
You're trying to find that word still?
It's I'll try and find it.
I remember it's super late tonight. I
Yeah.
bet.
Stacy Bookworm says, my brother died in the same way. Hog-tied with 5 cops on his back. Tased multiple times. The story hits home. Dude.
Sorry to
no-
hear.
No
Oh,
good.
man.
It's terrible.
D. Stoltenberg says, bring the war to the rich graffiti found a few miles from the protest in an upper middle class neighborhood. Other graffiti spotted included anti-capitalist sentiment. I hate these people. They exploit the poverty. They exploit the anger because they want socialism and communism. It has nothing to do with them caring about justice. It's about them saying, ooh, now's our chance to make it all crumble and make it all worse for everybody.
Yeah.
These people are opportunists, man. I hate them. Anthony Zavaro says, the only stores that weren't pillaged were armed. I'd agree. Sounds about right. Biker Bob says, provocateurs is the word. Yes, agent provocateur.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, agent provocateur.
Yes.
And I look at chat and everyone's saying it.
Agent provocateur.
No.
Rock on, chat.
Nailed it.
You
Thanks,
guys
guys.
rock.
Agent prop. Andrew Holker says, the AutoZone fire was the first one, and it was started by a white guy in all black and a gas mask. Protesters filmed him and told him not to do it. The dude silently lit the place up and dipped. Probably just an arsonist, man.
I did see that video, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't. He said the only thing I saw him say is, "Come at me again, I'll fight you," and then he like just dipped out.
So
See
we
the
don't
guy
know
with the
what he
chainsaw?
was.
I didn't see the
What the
chainsaw
heck
video.
was
No, you
happening?
told me about
Guy
it.
was
Though.
walking around with a chainsaw. Weird, man.
Yeah.
Weird.
What are you gonna do with
Static
that?
X says, dude, proof of the agitator is this link. My neighborhood is pretty much wrecked, bro. We just don't know if he is Antifa or a cop for whatever reason.
That guy.
I'll dig into it. Yeah, we'll look it
Yeah,
up.
probably the same dude.
Alexander Olsen says, I'm in Minneapolis. One man demonstrating with signs 6 miles from riots. Good cops stop bad cops. Police reform. Rioting hurts everyone. Looting exploits tragedy. 38th and Chicago Ave. S was my childhood. Dan Zoom says, if you're going to burn down Wendy's, it better at least be one of the locations that is out of beef.
Right.
It's like, but why burn down Wendy's?
I don't understand.
McDonald's got burned down too, apparently, or
Yeah.
set up on
Fast
fire.
food.
Yeah,
I
set
don't
on
get
fire.
it.
What the heck?
Tony L says, don't know whether to watch you or Crowder. Why not both?
Well, I'm glad he's here at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Crowder in the left ear, TimcastIRL in the right ear.
That's some big,
Train
big brain
yourself.
stuff.
Yeah.
You could focus in, like,
Oh gosh, that's so hard.
Well, to be honest, we do the show Monday through Friday. I think Crowder does like one night a week live.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's why I'm like, I like Crowder. I don't like hearing that people would ditch his show. But I mean, I want my show to work. So, GMU says, Tim, these were park police, so even worse. If you ever run into park police, they are poorly trained and on a major power trip. I don't see them as real.
Interesting.
Oof. Connor says, looking into starting a YouTube channel. Any specific mics or cameras you might recommend for one on a budget of about $1,000 to start? I don't know, to be honest. I would recommend, depending on what you want to do for the channel, a phone really does work really, really well. Dude, the Galaxy S10 and the new Note.
Is that what you filmed me with outside?
That was the Note.
That was nice.
Amazing.
Clean.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's got a wide angle lens on it. I'm telling you, man, the phone cameras are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, they are.
So
good.
I started with a very, very, like I said, GoPro 4, really bad, and I slowly just started picking stuff up. But I'll tell you this, I do have one recommendation: the Sony RX 106 or whatever is out so far.
Is that this thing?
Yeah, here, let me see. I don't know which one this is. This is the the 7. Oh, this is good. This right here is the Sony RX. What is it? 107 4K cyber shot. This is the first. So I actually was using, I think, the 4 or whatever.
Oh wow.
After the GoPro, I upgraded to this because the audio is incredible and the video is incredible, and it can do 1,000 frames per second, and it costs like, you can get a used one, I think, for like $900.
And actually, this is the camera he's letting me use for my gaming stream that I'm working
Right.
on starting. I have a poll right now on what game to start.
Yes.
And I think Dark Souls is winning
Yes.
between Dark Souls and Final Fantasy VII and Doom Eternal.
That's gonna be so
close
fun.
race.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Caitlin says, Mepstein didn't skill himself. I think I can still get in trouble for saying
Sneaky.
it that way. Right.
Not quite sneaky enough.
Fake name says, shame about the big news day. My super chat's about yesterday's stream. Apparently NASA has plans for Venus colonies. Mars low gravity is bad for bones. Venus surface is too hot, but floating cities and clouds are perfect gravity.
I'm gonna look into that. I haven't heard
Yep,
that. And I'm
I heard that.
very on top of
could-
science stuff.
Yeah,
and
like
space.
the gaseous density at the lower levels you could actually float on top of.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Cool.
interesting. I want to check that out.
Tim Clark says, how does your police system work? It seems that each town has different police that are trained and equipped different. Is this a problem? Is this a problem in the system? I would say yes, it is.
Yep.
But that's right. That's how it works.
America's huge.
Yeah.
America's not a tiny little spot.
Yeah.
You know.
America, I think, has more square footage than all of Europe.
I think so. Yeah. That sounds right.
Square mileage. Square kilometerage?
Kilometerage.
Meterage.
Yeah.
David Campbell says, Minnesota prosecutor works close to the police, right? So it would only seem to make sense there is bias. This needs to be unbiased as possible for trial. That's why they have outside prosecutors come in. Maybe they'll do that here. That's why the FBI is investigating. Troy says, take a look at Officer 401. Has a good take on it. Tiller 4534 says, every cop who walks the street should be at least a BJJ blue belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It solves every problem like this safely and effectively. But they don't want to spend money on this training, and a lot of cops are just out of shape dudes sitting in the office all day. Say When says, police killed him. Not stores, not businesses, not regular people. Yep. Simon Anthony, thanks for the super chat. Caitlin says, cop on neck had different badge than the others. Interesting. Stephen A says, I'm about as pro-police a man that you can find. I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But if these cops get away scot-free from this killing, enraged won't be enough to describe my feelings. Yeah, I think the funny thing is, like, you've got the right saying unjust killing and constitutional rights violation, civil rights violation, freedom, liberty, and the left saying Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, how about we all hold hands on this one and you know, rock back and forth singing, because let's get this one. Let's get this one like solved and done. Let's see where we at. Sean Ryan says, the more I watch, the more I like you guys and Lydia. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chisholm, thanks for the super chat. I've worked with the RCMP and other police to subdue people. Physical, chemical restraints, and proper training lets you subdue someone easily. We never kneel on someone's neck. This is simply appalling. Oh, yeah. The Seraphim says, hey, Tim et al. You're a light in the dark. We could use you in the UK. Slippery slope over here. I don't envy
Seems
you
like
guys
it. Yeah.
watching Dankula get arrested for a joke. That's scary, man. I'm scared of the UK. Bane Trump says, the cops will all get rehired with back pay 18 months from now after heat dies down. Standard police union SOP. Unfortunately. The Grizzly says, wow, this rotation of magic's horribly OP. I'm going to switch to Warhammer for a bit, not a card game. It's like a tabletop real-time strategy with models. Any other card games you guys play? Nope. We are slowly trying to figure out a cancel culture card game with funny cards. It is not easy, to say the least.
No.
You need like a big group of people who know how to design a game. You can't just have a couple people trying to figure it out.
Well, at least we're all gamers. We have that going for us.
Larry Goddard says, society not breaking laws equals police not killing. Gold 818 says, hey, Tim, what do you think about President Trump's executive order on preventing online censorship? If you go to timcast.net, that is my main channel, there is a video I did on it today, and I break it down. I think it has the best... A lot of things can happen, but it may actually solve the problem by basically saying to these social media companies, you are going to lose liability protections unless you stop banning this kind of speech. It's actually really clever. The argument is that their protections require them to deem content objectionable, lewd, lascivious, extremely violent. And what Trump said is the FCC needs to clarify what these words mean. That way, if you tweet hashtag learn to code, and then Twitter says that's objectionable or harassment, the FCC will say, no, it isn't. You've just violated, you're violating your protections under 230. If you do it again, you will be open to lawsuits. So Twitter will be like, okay, we won't do it. So Twitter can still ban things that are really, really offensive and really awful, but they have to be under those specific words: lewd, lascivious, objectionable. They can argue what objectionable means, but learn to code doesn't fall into that, unfortunately. So it would protect a lot of these conservatives who are getting banned. Corneliu, turns out we were judging them by the content of their character the whole time.
How dare we?
The police, or wait, what does that mean? Marlon Sebo says, F's in the chat for Noodles and Company. Noodles. Oh, it was referring to one of the stores.
Yeah.
Big Josh says, you know what wasn't stolen from Target? Work boots. I actually think they were, though, to be honest. Like, they took everything.
Everything was gone.
It seemed like it, yeah, everything.
The one thing they didn't take was, like, the candy bars and the chips. Those were just thrown on the floor.
Yeah.
That was weird. The Lipardi says, the longest video I found of Floyd showed that he had a knee on his neck for 7 minutes, 53 seconds. This is not manslaughter. This is second-degree murder. Wow. Bold statement.
Probably.
But, yeah, probably. Joseph Gilmore says, I live about a half mile from where the riots happened in Minneapolis. Did you know they burned down an apartment complex that was being built for low-income residents? Insanity. I
don't get that.
I saw that reporting from the Star Tribune. Charles Scudder says, guess I'm lucky I'm immune to tear gas. Found that out in the USAF. You know, when in the US, tear gas, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's tear gas. Ooh, my eyes. Brazil, whoa.
Oof.
In Brazil, whatever they were using was like
Seriously, huh?
I couldn't see. I had snot just pouring out of my mouth and my nose. And I was like, oh.
I'm sure they
use
have it here.
heavy duty stuff.
I'm sure they've got that here.
They just use the lighter stuff here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Brazil was heavy duty.
Hmm.
Simon says, keep it the good work, Tim and crew, we will. Titan says, I don't know if MPD's policy and procedures, I don't know of them, but I worked as a correctional officer in West Virginia for over 12 years, and I've never been trained to use my knee on someone's neck as a way of restraining them.
That's what I keep hearing.
I've
been hearing it all day.
And if that's the case, man, then what's this guy's excuse going to be?
Exactly.
How is this not his like him being culpable for this?
Yep.
Thanks for the super chat, Michael. Cornelius says, if you ain't, I'm not going to read that. But he's making fun of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Floorboat Adjacent says, why is it that these riots never seem to happen in areas with high gun ownership? Give the UFO a spin for poor Noodles and Co.
Oh, yeah.
Noodles and
Why don't you go? Go ahead.
No,
Wishes
you
are
do it. I'm going to read.
command.
I'll read.
Alright. Yeah.
Noodles and Company, no. I don't like Noodles and Company. It's not that good.
I don't think I've ever actually had any Noodles and Company.
Nah, they're okay.
They do noodles.
They do noodles.
Well, the UFO is spinning for you, Noodles.
Very fast.
Wow.
Wolf Spain says the pawn shop owner was charged with a murder charge on the state laws that the owner must retreat and escape instead of defending their property. Whoa, really? That
I
happened?
gotta look that
Wow,
up.
man.
Alright, going to look that up.
Really?
Wow.
Don't like that.
What if the only way out was the front door? Someone's kicking it in
If he
with
had
the
a-
intent of looting.
Well, you know what? I got to say, if he had a back door and he chose to stay in the building instead,
and defend himself.
I think it's fair to say if you have the option to run, you should run.
So this video popping up of the guys standing with like, I don't know, it looks like they got ARs strapped to the front of them. They're like, oh, we're just standing here in case something happens to this liquor store. It's like, so if people were coming, what would they do? They'd be charged with murder too if they were just defending the place?
I thought those guys were pro-protesters.
They said they were for the protesting, but not for the looting.
Right.
They're
fair.
against the looting.
Yeah.
And that's what they were out there for.
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
I mean,
I don't know.
Slippery
But
slope.
I do think if these protesters came out with some like constitutionalist 2 activists or whatever, also armed, and they all marched and went to like town hall and stood on the stairs, they'd have won in 2 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: the activists that showed up don't want justice. Look, I understand many of them do, but the riots that ensued. Okay, so let me rephrase that. The activists who showed up clearly want justice, but many people showed up alongside them who wanted destruction, chaos, and looting.
yeah.
That's the problem. If they all marched to the state capitol building, they would have won. But they're burning down AutoZone?
I don't agree
Did
this guy
auto-
should get a murder charge.
What guy?
I mean,
The
he did kill
punch.
Oh,
somebody.
right.
Yeah.
It should, if anything, it's manslaughter. Like he did kill somebody that was
Nah.
coming at him.
It was a riot. It wasn't a normal circumstance.
You're right. Yeah, that's
If,
true.
Yeah.
Because what if he's thinking, if I go out the back door, someone will jump me?
And
I have no
all
choice.
and all of my store is going to be gone.
Forget the store.
True.
The argument for the store thing makes sense. If you're in your store and there's a back door and someone's breaking the door in, run. In a riot, though, you're like,
Where
what
do
if
you
I
go?
what if I open the back door and his buddies are waiting for
Yeah.
me?
That's a good point.
So you're like, I better stay in here because the riot's dangerous.
Defend my position.
Not only that, if you leave your building and go into a riot, you can get killed.
That's true.
So he had no choice. Someone's breaking in. That's a BS charge, man. That's
Yeah.
BS.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to
that's not
agree.
right.
Grappler says, hey guys, thanks for keeping an eye on what's going on out there. Things are spreading across the metro at the moment. Going to be a long night. I know, and I'm going to be sitting up on Twitter just like looking at videos all night.
Yeah.
P. Detail says that was fake news for sure. So this is when they were all telling you the picture was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks you everybody for pointing that out. Let's see. Michelle Mybell says, did Twitter fact check and mark the story? What do you mean mark the story?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anton says, from Russia with love, please remind me daily the American people are actually sane. Well,
We
some
are.
of them are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sane and a lot of insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
Peter Moorman says, I understand the frustration with rioters, but it's important to keep in mind the DNC goes through great pains to compromise so-called activists and turn them into puppets of division. Well, that's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah. We should hurry up though.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah. So
We got 2 more
should we,
segments to do.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to have to start speeding things up. So my apologies to you if we don't get to your super chat
Sorry,
because
everybody.
we're about to deal with a really big jump right here. So let's try and... So YouTube delays loading. Uh-oh. Oh man, we got way too many.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Sorry.
saying. If we want to hit another subject, which I would love to talk about Superman again. That's not.
Yeah,
that
we got to
sounds-
talk about Superman,
We're
everybody.
gonna talk about Superman.
So I'm going to start speeding things up. So I apologize if we can't get to your super chat.
Yeah,
There's just too many, unfortunately. So let's see. Where were we?
Yeah, right
Here
there.
we are. Evan Jones says, download a police scanner app and listen to the rioting. Also, have you watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix? Tim the Arbiter would be a sick name for your fact check site. Oh yeah, that's a cool name.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
We'll figure it out.
I dig that.
Redwall says if Trump came out and defended these protests, they would end immediately. That's how tribal and deluded these people are. Trump should. He did already defend, like he called for an investigation.
Yeah, that's true.
Etler the Dark says, I can't wait for Wikipedia to accept chat room consensus as a source. Oh, yeah. Lee Rogge, thanks for the super chat. Sam Jag says, projection and polarization are the catalyst to the mess we see all around us. Misinformation is fuel, the kindling projection, and the fire polarization. Let's see. Thanks for the super chat, Big Sexy. Mike Seymour, thanks for the super chat. Student of History says, the state doesn't want unity amongst the lower working class. That would be a severe threat to the power of the government. Insert black and white arm meme from Alien here. Yep. Ted Skavranek II. Things to ponder. If Gatorade was tested at FSU, would it be called... What? I'm not going to read that. Are the usual sources you get news from the Timcast news pool IRL? Highly suspect Tim and Lydia and Tim are family. We are not.
No, we're not.
Jason and X Creations, thanks for becoming members.
Thank you.
Shun Ryujin says, and with this we now know Joker took place in Minneapolis. Also, I have gone to these so-called food banks to give soon to spoil food. Sometimes you find some good stuff, but my gas was pretty bad. Javi J says, in Ice Cube's defense, all white people do look alike. Badumch. Ettingel says on Twitter, what does it say? Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was a joke.
What?
I'm not sure if that was a joke or
Pretty
not.
sure it's a joke.
Oh, okay, good.
Maybe it's not, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Let's see. Alan Hoagland on Twitter has a clarification about the county attorney's statement. He didn't mean to imply that there would be no prosecution. Okay, maybe he was just saying that he's seen some evidence that would imply maybe not, but they don't know for sure yet. They gotta look at the evidence. Zeitghost says, terrible thing what happened to George. Almost exact same thing happened to white guy in Dallas, search Tony Timpa. This was about police misconduct, not race. And there was also Kelly Thomas. We talked about him the other day.
Yeah.
Pseudosign says, hard to accept when real issues get overshadowed. Remember when Northam talked about post-birth abortion?
I do remember.
Now we've real cases of power-mad police. And the media claimed he never said it and never happened. I got really mad when Jack Dorsey tweeted that thing where he's like, oh, we're fact-checking Trump, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean fact-checking Trump? He's like, we want to show, Jack Dorsey tweeted, we want to show that there's dispute in this information. I'm like, Jack, did you Google search it? Because in Paterson, New Jersey, the NAACP, one of their leaders is saying, shut it down because 3,000 mail-in ballots had mixed signatures that didn't make sense, like they didn't match. And then some of those people actually did vote, and they're saying, why was my vote canceled? And now they're like, shut it down. That's not conservatives calling for. That's the NAACP.
Yep.
Well, I guess Jack doesn't have Google. He's going to believe whatever CNN tells him.
That's so weird that he wouldn't have Google, right?
I know. Let's see. Where are we at? Shun says, that's totally my goal, being uncancelable. These baby Karens need to be disciplined with more trolling like this. The diskarenification shall be a success. Excellent.
That's great.
Gore, thanks for the super chat. Nunya Biz says, reports coming out on Twitter. This is an agent provocateur recorded breaking a window and fleeing from an AutoZone is a local police officer. Interesting. I can't search that, but, you know, people check it out. Vasht says, happy, I'm not going to read it because I don't know what it is, unfortunately, but I appreciate the super chat. No Black Thunder says, the worst thing about the riots is that people claim it's because of racism when there are no signs of this, and abuse it for their own gain, where they plunder TV and stuff and poop on the man that died by doing that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yep.
Shun says, soy Jesus, it has been scientifically proven that plants emit noise when in distress. That being said, I need all the mushroom jerky, please. Also, guys, check out Anton Petrov videos for space stuff. Cool. Do they really emit noise? I'll look that up.
You actually got some mushroom jerky for me, and it was really good.
I think we still have it.
They do.
Oh, you ate it all.
Signals.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cloud G says, I want your beanie. We will soon have some. OP Dankling says, I'm not gay, but I would be for Henry Cavill. Just saying. Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to
Oh,
get...
Henry.
I'm
Yes,
so
we're getting
excited.
there. We're getting there
Yes.
next.
Villa Music Dude says, do you think tensions will rise across the nation? Will it be the start of an extremist spark post-modern political laws? Losing more ground on 1A, 2A? I see people losing friendships on social over opinions
Yeah.
on Floyd and the riots.
Yep.
It's going to get worse, I'll tell you what, because
I think so too.
I have friends who have gone insane. Brandon says George Floyd did 5 years in prison for armed robbery, along with other crime history, not a saint like portrayed. And I think, I'll tell you what, man, some people go through rough patches in life and do bad things, and they come out and they deserve redemption. And so, while I agree, there was probably something that would pop up.
Yep.
That statement he made about, you're going to go up, it's going to be you and God, and you're going to go up or you're going to go down, trying to get kids to drop that stuff. I mean, that shows that maybe he was rehabilitated.
We have to remember and give humans in general the ability to learn and accept that people can be wrong. And, sure, that might be the case. I don't know about his life and what he went through. But, I mean, I saw we read about him and what he was saying. There's a video of him talking to the youth that he was clearly a part of when he was younger. Especially if, sure, okay, so he had a record. That actually makes sense. So he's been through it.
And it actually makes him
knows.
sound better.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, now I'm going to talk to these kids because I know that I've been there. I've been there. Like, let's...
Makes me angrier.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell
I
me
agree.
that he went through the system, it worked? This guy turned his life around and then said, don't be like this. You're not tough.
And this happened to him? Really?
And then this happens to him.
Oh, man.
That discredits that message he was trying to tell people that, you know what I mean? So I don't think he's a saint, man, but I still respect that message he was trying to give. Hopefully the context was correct, because for all you know, another part of it comes out where he's like, I'm just kidding. Like you don't know what's in the video.
Right.
So we want to believe the best things about this guy, but I'm always, very cautious. All right, let's see. Where are we at? G-Virus says, have you heard about the post made by Greg Anderson, the Seattle cop, telling other cops to stop their tyrannical ways or soon face the people's wrath and getting fired for posting it? Yes, he was right. Octorian says, get Soy Jesus on a t-shirt, posed like Jesus and have the quote, and lo, did they call me out, and together we learned. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I like that. Can you write that down, Lydia?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
lo,
funny.
did they call me out, and together we learned. That's actually really cool.
I love it.
I appreciate that.
I mean, I am that. That's exactly it. Like, I can be wrong.
But that's
I have been wrong on this show,
What?
and
But
I'm
wait.
okay with that. I'm okay with being wrong. I don't mind.
But it's not, I think what makes that statement good, it's not about you. It's about
Yeah.
everyone should have that.
Exactly.
I got called out. I was wrong.
Yes.
There's a balance in being a whiny baby who's going to apologize for things you didn't do wrong and accepting that you were factually incorrect in certain things. So I like it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Villa Music Dude says, Tim, being that there is an extremist climate growing, what will our saving grace for our country? What will be our saving grace for our country's values? I'm afraid of a looming threat of us slowly moving to totalitarianism in the next decade. The Constitution, because even if they trample all over it, if everything fell apart, there are going to be people who keep it and stay true, The True Nemesis says, you guys heard about the Westgate shooting in AZ? The news barely talk about it as the shooter is Mexican. 3 people were shot and the shooter posted the shooting on Instagram. Wow,
Jeez,
crazy.
dude.
Jeez.
The coaster,
I haven't heard that.
the coaster guy says, hey, Tim, grew up on south side of Chicago near the Tinley-Orland Park area. Sad to see that Crush Skate Park closed. If you're familiar with that, love the videos, man. Dude, Crush closed a long time ago. But yeah, I remember when I found out, I was like, wow. I skate at Crush all the time. That's a bummer.
That's cool.
Vermin Infested says, lost a friend to a post, equating not wearing masks to not wearing helmets or seatbelts.
Oh, no.
What's your view on this? Not wearing masks equally to not wearing seatbelts or a helmet. Like, what does that mean, though? Like, not wearing a mask is to stop you from spitting on other people and spreading the virus. Not wearing a seatbelt, only you die. I think people should wear masks, but I also think we got a bunch of Karens. Like, bro, if I see you not wearing a mask, I just walk the other way.
Yeah,
I'm in a supermarket, I'm like, oh, he's got no mask on, I'm just going to go around.
Yeah, I don't want to be near that person.
I'm not going to karate about it. If you're going in a supermarket, you're touching all the stuff all over the place. I don't care if you're masked on or not. I'm going to go to the front. I'm going to get the wipes. I'm going to wipe down my cart. And I'm going to go on my, if I see you no mask, I'll just be like, I go this way.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
care.
really simple,
These
easy.
people are so, it's about power. They
Yep.
want to tell you, you're wrong. Where's your mask?
Oh, there's someone I can enforce.
Yes.
If
Some
you're scared, stay
power.
home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, basically.
Everett Beatty says too many laws, hence too many police, hence too many instances. Just saying. I mean, we're growing. It's a population. Gorilla Gaming says apparently the person who started the vandalism of AutoZone was a cop from St. Paul, outed and caught. Jacob Penderson, who was involved in a shooting, Egan standoff that killed 23-year-old. He was casual about smashing windows.
I haven't seen any of
Now,
this.
that's something-
Where's this information coming
Well,
from?
we can look it up right now. You want
tweet
Matthew
tweet at me
Henderson?
if you have information about this. Hit me up. There's my handle. Just send me some tweets, tag me in it, because I want to know this information, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Ground Squirrel says, did you guys discuss the Amy Klobuchar thing the Gravel Institute found? She declined to charge this officer in a previous incident where he killed or shot someone. Whoa.
Yeah, somebody
Same-
just sent
same
me
one?
that.
Because
Yeah.
she was a prosecutor or what?
She was a prosecutor.
No,
Yeah.
she just lost that VP slot.
That is-
Wow.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows
Oh
it.
my gosh. This is ridiculous.
Let's see. Nathaniel says, fires of Norfolk, the rebels burned a whole city. Grant says, Amy Klobuchar didn't prosecute officer at center of George Floyd's death after previous conduct complaints. I'm going to hold her responsible for that. Because our justice system is supposed to stop this. That's the point.
Yep.
You have a prosecutor who says, this guy's clearly doing something wrong. I will stop them so they don't end someone's life.
Yep.
So she bears some of that responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
If it's true.
Well, Grant put a link. I can't click on it.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at it
it's
right
true?
now. Yep, Daily Wire.
Wow,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
St. Miles says, 5 years from now, I will be walking down the streets in Washington, D.C. Everyone will be wearing black and gray beanies, Harry Potter glasses, and Harumph t-shirts. Then I know I have passed into the Twilight Zone. You folks are the best.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See the future.
Jordan Thomas says, you're right about the people looting not being from the community. As a former Ferguson resident, most looters are from the community, sometimes aren't from the community, sometimes not even the state. Yep. And the locals were telling me, like, we went to someone's house and they were like a bunch of young guys and they were like, dude, these people they don't live here, man. We go to the store, we walk to that shop to get our milk. They're destroying it. What are we supposed to do? And then what happens? The media's like, well, the looting is about fighting oppression. Mm-hmm. Rob Young says, why are they destroying their own city? There has to be a better way to protest. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't from there.
Yep, that's probably it.
Jillian Boardman says, happy Throwback Thursday, brother. Appreciate it. Brian says, what is that UFO globe thing on your desk and where can I get one? Also, any thoughts about the cops starting the fire theories? Oh, look at that. That's crazy. So the Earth is its own thing.
Yep.
And I forgot what it's called.
Move a globe.
Move a
globe. MOVA, I think. Hold on.
MOVA?
MOVA?
Let me double check.
The UFO is a levitating. It's a magnetic levitation UFO. It's really cool. And I got him on Instagram.
MOVA.
The globe also?
No, this was recommended to me by a friend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was
I've
like,
actually
I will
seen
get
these
one.
around for a long time, and I always thought they were cool. So when it showed up, I was like, oh, dope. Nice.
George
cool.
Larson says, I worked as a diesel mechanic in the Twin Cities. Truckers have been saying that the rest areas at state borders and around the cities are filled with out-of-state cars. A lot of people not even from here doing the rioting.
Mm-hmm.
People drive in, the tourists,
Yep.
the activists.
This is our chance. A free TV.
Here we go. CLV says, is, quote, free state an oxymoron? Ba-dum-tsh. It could be, actually, you know. Clario Zavala says, civil rights times Black Lives Matter, or ex-Black Lives Matter. If we could get one done together, we can do another. Honestly, need a win for America and not parties.
Yeah.
Tassan says, if you want to get out of NJ, come down here to Dallas. U.S. veteran Marines will show you good areas to stay, even a temp place to stay. Thanks for everything you all do. I like Texas. We'll see. Top Gundy says, I'm in Minnesota, about to go to the protest with body armor and a 4K GoPro. If you guys like the video footage, I will give it to you first. Tweet it at him.
Yeah.
Tweet everything.
Hit me up.
Oh, I keep hitting the wrong thing.
Actually,
I'm sorry, guys.
you might want to send that to Lydia.
Oh, yeah. Here,
She-
send it to me. I read all my messages, and I will usually respond to you if it's
There you
something
go.
really interesting.
Sour Patch Lids,
Yep.
LYDS.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Track Media Only says, I don't know if applies to these cops. Improper classic chokeholds cause death. Kneeling on the side of the neck, pressing carotid arteries was a thing. Death bad, but race or mistake. Tosh K says, I live in Minnesota, work construction. The deconstruction from the rise is heartbreaking. The damage is a horrible way to thank the essential workers, especially the retail workers. Yeah, absolutely. Shadow Fox, thanks for the super chat. Stephen Gregory says, off topic, but why does the left hate nuclear power? I live in Cali where we have bad fires that block out the sun. Very problematic. Also in the Expanse, Book 5, Earth's solar grid goes down. What is that? Include Ink Best Season? Vosh says, Agent Provocateur. Via Wolf says, this is Baltimore all over again.
It's worse, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's worse. From
It
what
is
I'm
worse.
seeing, I mean, we
were
were
there.
in
We were there.
Baltimore,
It's worse.
and like what we've seen, it's like
They torched tons of buildings.
Yeah.
I think it was 30 fires were started and 16 were structural.
I mean, there was a lot of fires going on in Baltimore, but not like what I'm seeing here. It's
So
crazy.
fast, too.
Well, we've
Let's-
gone through the super chats.
Yeah.
We've talked about horrifying, terrifying realities. But now we have some good news.
Yep.
I'm
Finally.
excited about this.
Henry Cavill in talks to return as Superman in
Oh,
upcoming DC
hello.
movie.
Yes.
Yes.
He
Henry
did an
Cavill
awesome job as Superman, I gotta say. I
Henry-
really liked him as Superman.
is my favorite Superman.
Really? Of
Yeah.
all of the Superman?
There's not that much to pick
There's-
from.
yeah,
you know
that's a
what I
good
mean?
point. Yeah, I guess
So
you're right.
he does a great job.
He does. He makes an awesome Superman.
And I actually liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm excited. I did.
Okay.
I absolutely did.
I gotta give it to him. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
I went into it thinking it was gonna be bad, and then I was like, oh, all right,
liked it.
It wasn't bad.
I'm not. I don't think he's the best Batman.
No.
I
Who's
think-
the best Batman?
Oh, that's tough. But
I think Christian Bale killed it, dude.
I want to lean on that one for sure, because of the difficult thing is I think Val
Kilmer.
Yeah.
He was okay.
That was good.
Michael Keaton was
Michael
Batman.
Keaton was
good.
Was good. Yeah.
But the reason I want to say Christian Bale is just because I really like that trilogy, and The Dark Knight is
True.
one of the best.
I mean, yeah, it was a different time too.
But
it was in the area of era of really good cinematic
I'll tell you this,
movies, you know.
Not George Clooney.
Oh, I forgot he was
Oh
Batman.
man, yeah, forgettable.
Yeah, that
Gosh.
was not on my list.
No.
Didn't even
No.
make
Yeah,
it.
not George
Mm-mm.
Clooney. You
No.
know, those movies were
I think
fun.
it's Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Val Kilmer, and then I guess.
I don't know. I'd put Ben Affleck up
Oh,
there.
actually, you know what? Yeah, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. I'm
Keaton.
gonna put Michael Keaton right on second.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't move his neck though. You know what I mean? He's like,
Well, that was the suit.
I know.
You know, he
was
had no
funny.
choice.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I like Ben Affleck. And I wonder if he'll come back. That'd be cool. I'd really love to see Shazam, Superman.
Yes.
Shazam was great.
Shazam was awesome. They're working on Shazam too.
Yep.
I'm
It was a
excited.
great
I
movie.
love that movie. That was a
really-
great movie.
It was DC's like turnaround.
Yeah, actually, that might be my favorite DC movie.
You know what? They've been trying to be
Well,
so
Joker
dark,
is DC, right?
but it's not it's not the DCEU.
Okay.
So
yeah.
so
Shazam.
Joker, dude, the Joker.
Oh, the Joker is incredible.
Or just Joker.
Is that what it is?
just-
Yeah, it's
simply
just
Joker?
Joker.
Amazing
The
movie.
the ending
Incredible
scene,
movie.
the last joke is just so amazing. And there's a meme.
So
So
good.
I'm gonna spoil this now because I'm assuming everyone's already seen it.
Fair warning.
Haven't seen
But
it.
hold on.
He's ruining it
There's a
for you.
little meme comic where Joker is sitting in a chair and they're drawn as like he's like portly and like, you know, cute looking, and he's angry and he says, "What do you get when you cross, you know, a mentally ill man with a society that, you know, ignores him or whatever?" And then the TV show host smiles and says, "In Canada, you get healthcare and we take care of you." And then they're both smiling and it says the end.
Oh, it's spoiled. For
Hold
me.
on. Before we move on, I got to give it up to Chat again. Chat, you are on fire.
Oh gosh.
Adam
What do we do?
West.
Adam West.
Oh, I love
Adam West. Come
true.
on.
How could
Number
I
one.
forget?
Oh my goodness. He's
All right.
incredible.
Okay.
He's number
The
one.
OG.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you,
Number
Chat.
Thanks, guys.
He's-
Hold on. I got this.
No,
Huh?
boo.
I deserve that.
He's
I
number
forgot
one
too.
for a few
Man.
reasons, and they're right because I didn't even think about this.
I
They're
didn't
right.
even think about it. How dare he?
Adam West.
What a boss.
First and foremost, the kooky, funny nature of the original Batman series,
Yes.
amazing.
True.
The silliness of it
Yeah.
was actually
Perfect.
well done.
It carried perfectly. It
And
was great.
Adam West is like, he was a legend, man.
Totally
favorite
legend.
Family Guy character.
Yeah,
Mine
absolutely.
too.
Hands
Oh
down.
my gosh.
Ooh, piece of candy.
No, that was James Woods.
Oh, that's James Woods. Yeah, right.
No,
Adam
Adam,
West.
Adam West is which one does he do?
Mayor.
the mayor.
Mayor
Oh,
Mayor
right,
West.
right.
Yeah.
Mayor West.
He's just completely insane.
So off the wall. I
Yeah, I
love,
love it.
him.
Yes.
Adam West. So many memorable moments. man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, now we can move on.
All right.
Henry Cavill is back
Yes.
Henry Cavill.
Here's the article.
in talks to return as Superman in an upcoming DC movie. That would be awesome. I liked Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It was really good.
really good.
Yeah.
I really liked Chris Maloney in it. You know,
Is that
you
the
know-
bad guy?
No. He's
Which one's he?
He was the military officer. He was the guy who was in Law and Order SVU. So
Can't
he
think of who that is.
one of my favorite scenes in that movie. Law and Order SVU, man. Stabler.
I don't watch SV.
Come on. In Man of Steel, he plays like the main military dude.
Okay.
And
I
so-
bet I'll see his face and be like, of course.
There's a scene.
What's
in
his name again?
Christopher Maloney.
Yeah, Christopher Maloney. There's a scene in Man of Steel that is awesome. So what's the name of that evil woman, the evil Kryptonian woman? I forgot her name. It's been so long since I've
Oh,
seen
this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
So there's
okay.
a scene where like his helicopter goes down, and then the Kryptonian woman in armor is standing there, and he's like sweating and holding the knife, like there's nothing else he can do. And I'm
Everyone
like,
around him just died, got
and he's
whooped.
like, and he flinches, That was awesome scene. It's like you're just a dude that's a Kryptonian. You're gonna die, but he's like ready to go. I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
that
yeah.
scene.
That was a cool scene. You're right.
What I really like about like the Marvel universe is
Mm-hmm.
when regular people are put in these tough situations. Why I like Batman.
Yep.
That's why I like
I like
Iron
that,
Man.
yeah.
That's why I like Falcon. And so when he's just like a regular military guy with a knife up against this superpowered alien, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm going for it."
I don't care. I'm gonna do it.
She's gonna snap her fingers, and you're gonna be dust. But he's like not gonna run. He's not gonna whimper. He's gonna stand his ground. That was
Yeah.
an awesome scene.
It's
Is
awesome.
that Ursa?
Was that her name?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
hope
I
that
want to
rings
watch
a
that
bell.
movie now.
Yeah,
I like Man
let's
of
watch
Steel.
it, dude.
was fun.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I wish they would have done the DC universe proper. Do a Batman movie.
No. You know what? It feels like they're realizing their mistakes.
Yes.
They're looking back and
They're gonna
going,
fix it.
"We should have done it this way." Actually, you know what? Everyone wants the Snyder cut. Let's give it to
Yes.
them.
Oh.
And not only that, they're gonna legitly do it correctly.
Oh, let's go to right.
Why don't
to
you
it,
go
man.
ahead, drop
We're
it.
gonna read it. All right.
So
there.
this was the tweet. Darkseid's coming to the Snyder
Boom.
cut.
Oh.
Turns
Now-
out he was always there, and they cut him
Yes.
out of the movie.
So there's a clip right
Doesn't
here.
even make sense.
Zack Snyder said he's coming to HBO Max. Now, some people are mad. Look at this. He says, Darkseid doesn't use weapons. You clearly have no clue about the character. Okay. All right. Calm down. We don't want to get comic book guy from The Simpsons all on Zack
gosh.
Snyder.
Well, that doesn't look like an axe. It looks more like a staff of some sort. I don't know.
All I know is
Might not be a weapon.
it looks like they were originally
Flashlight?
going to have Darkseid
flashlight?
in the
I
movie.
don't
That's what. Remember, I was complaining. Like, why
Yep.
did they do Steppenwolf?
I know, you're right.
I don't care about that guy.
This is what it needed. It probably just took too much like sidetrack from the main story.
Warner Brothers interference. I'll tell you what, man. Here's what I
Yeah,
bet happened. I
definitely.
bet Snyder was like, "We're gonna do our Justice League. We're gonna get Darkseid. It's gonna be a big epic." And then they probably did it. And then some guy was like, "Well, why waste the villain now? Use the other guy, and then we'll do another one. We'll make more money."
That
And then everyone
sounds
was like,
it. Yep.
Yeah.
And he was probably
I can see
like,
it.
"No."
No.
And that's why
Please
Snyder cut.
no.
And so now, that still looks like they had him there the whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh, maybe
I'm excited
that's
for
the
this.
backstory.
Well, let's see what's going on with this Henry Cavill thing.
Yeah. Okay.
They say he isn't hanging up with Superman cape just yet. Sources confirmed to Variety, Man of Steel actor is in talks to return as Clark Kent in an upcoming DC Comics movie. So it's not going to be Superman.
But it's also going to be a new movie though with him as Superman.
Dude, Superman versus Shazam would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not a versus, but the cool thing about Superman fighting Shazam is that Superman is weak to magic.
What about
So the
Black
actual-
Adam? That's the same. That's the same universe, isn't it?
Black Adam is one of the villains for Shazam. It's like one of the main dudes. the main bad
Right.
guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he's getting his own movie though, isn't he? I think he's getting his own
Black
movie.
Adam?
Yeah, there's going to be Shazam 2 and then Black Adam as
What?
a movie. Isn't
Are you
it?
sure?
I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Because he's the villain for Shazam.
Yeah.
I think The Rock was supposed to play Black Adam.
Oh,
right?
he is good. He is playing it. He's confirmed. Yeah.
He's perfect. This
Dude,
is
he's perfect. I
Amazing.
know.
Dude, I'm excited for this. Let's see. And who plays Shazam? Zachary Levi.
It is. He's getting his own movie, Black Adam.
Really?
I'm looking at the IMDb right here. IMDb.
Oh, cool.
Because his origin story was that he was given the
Dope.
powers, long time ago, and
Yeah.
then he went to his head and he became evil.
He has the Shazam power.
right.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Different. Shazam. Each letter stands for some god or whatever.
Oh, cool.
His,
All right.
his were based on like Egyptian gods, I think, or something like that.
Ah, dope.
Yeah. So what's this movie? They say so Snyder announced the long-rumored Snyder cut of Justice League. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Insiders tell Variety Cavill wouldn't be suiting up for the director's cut, but rather a cameo in one of DC's upcoming films, which includes Aquaman 2, The Suicide Squad, and The Batman. And so it's just a cameo? Aquaman 2.
Come on.
I'm excited for.
Eh.
The Suicide Squad.
There's a
oh,
certain
man.
someone that
certain
I'm not
person I don't
not
wanna
interested
see.
in seeing
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
The lady who
poops on
nope,
beds.
Nope. Oh.
You did it. I wasn't gonna go there.
I went there, bro.
You went there.
Yeah.
I dove right in.
Oh, gosh.
Because
That's
you know
fine.
what happens when you say it.
What?
It becomes a segment about Amber Heard pooped on a bed.
No. And moving on.
Nope. All right, moving on. Let's
Both
go.
the Batman, is that new movie that's coming out that was supposed to come out? They've been teasing the new bat suit. I forget who's.
Yeah, but it's
who-
Robert Patterson.
Yeah, Robert Patterson, right?
Pattinson.
Pattinson?
Yes,
Pattinson?
Pattinson.
Oh,
The guy who was in
Sure.
Twilight.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Was
Should
he
I
in
make-
anything else?
Harry Potter.
Was he really?
I've never seen Twilight or Harry
Dude,
Potter.
Robert
so.
Pattinson's been a
I didn't
ton
think he was
of
in Harry
movies.
Has he?
Potter.
What else?
He's in Harry
I've,
Potter.
I've
Are you
never
serious? He's Cedric Diggory, man. Is that his name, Diggory?
Oh, yeah,
He gets
Diggory.
killed by Voldemort. Come on, you're millennials.
All right.
I don't.
read the book
I don't.
this morning.
I don't
I
know.
know, you
I don't
didn't.
know. I
I
don't
don't know who
know.
you're talking about.
Let's see. How do I look up this guy's name?
Wait.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, there we go.
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
So here's this guy. What's he
Pattinson.
doing?
Ooh, lot of
Oh,
things.
he's in Tenet. Yeah, I
wanna
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
You know what? Actually, on that note, I am so excited about
We
that
will be
movie.
seeing that.
Anytime I see anything for it, I breeze right past.
You can't read it.
I don't want
Yeah.
to know anything
No
because
spoilers.
I know I'm gonna like that movie. I don't want to see
I
anything.
hope that's the
I want to
first
go
movie.
in
Have you seen the
completely
trailers?
blind. I haven't. Every time I see a trailer, I turn, I walk
Wait,
out of the
wait,
room.
hold on. Do you know what it's about?
I've seen oh man, this looks. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, I gotta get out of here. No, I don't want to see it.
So
Oh,
do you
it's
know
like
the general
paranoia.
premise of what's
No,
happening?
I don't really even know what it's about.
Then why don't you want? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What if you don't like
So,
it?
yeah.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Okay, yeah, it's fair.
No, I'm sorry, man. We need to be
He's
able to talk.
good.
We need to be able to talk about what the movie is about.
Right now? Why?
So we can talk
We're
about
talking
it
about
with-
Superman.
Distractibly.
Let's
All
bring
right.
it back to Superman.
Let me just say,
You want to do a segment on it? I can prepare myself.
Tenet looks awesome.
We
Sure,
will
we'll
be
leave it at
seeing
that.
100%.
Tenet looks awesome.
We'll leave it at that.
I hope
I
that's
can't
the first
wait.
movie
I like
we
Christopher
see.
Nolan stuff.
I want the theaters back open.
Yep.
Yes.
I
And we
wanna-
can actually do stuff about movie reviews like
I
we
know.
used to.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Yeah, I know, it was
Oh,
fun.
Remember stuff.
Those are the old times.
The old times.
Yes, the
Tim.
old times.
Timothy, this is very important. I need you to know this. I really want that movie to be the first movie we see when we get out of lockdown. So I'm hoping
Wait, when does it come out?
The
Why?
timing is correct because I have been waiting to see that movie ever
When,
since I saw
when
the
does
first
Tenet
ad.
come out?
Yeah, I'm nervous. When does it come
Anybody
out?
know?
July 17th.
Ooh, we better be out before then.
Oh yeah.
We should be.
We
2
have to
months.
go
Well, wait,
watch
didn't
it, though.
AMC go under though?
I don't know.
That's
So-
AMC right there.
Yeah, I know.
What-
So
There's
didn't
another
didn't they
theater.
close down like indefinitely or something?
I'm not sure.
I thought we talked about that,
I
but
hope not.
We can find a theater nearby.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
sure.
We're
figure it
good.
out.
We're good.
Figure
We're
it
It's
good.
in IMAX. I want to see it in IMAX. That sounds
But
good.
So-
yeah, I want to do the first
yes.
movie.
The Batman.
Oh yeah, the Batman. So
Yeah.
it is the Batman that he's in. So this is the one that Henry Cavill might be in.
Cameoing.
Yeah.
So
okay.
is it going to
Huh,
be like a
interesting.
young Batman?
Yeah, I don't
Shtick?
know.
Oh,
I don't know how it's gonna work. It seems like it would be right
How old
because
is
he's a younger
Robert
younger
Pattinson?
man.
He's in his 30s, I think, right?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have
No.
his. What is he?
Yeah.
What is he? 50?
I didn't know. He's like 35, maybe.
34.
Oh, I was
He's
right.
younger than me.
Oh, he's a spring chick.
Well, I thought you were
Look at that.
34.
I am, but I was born.
Like-
His birthday's in May, and mine's in March.
Yeah.
Ah,
He
you
just
you
turned
got him by
34.
2 months.
Oh, look at him.
Good
So-
for you. Good for you, buddy.
So I guess he's not going to be a young Batman, but it's going to be like it's going to be like not the peak of his career maybe.
Prequel
Yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah, going to be a prequel.
Cool.
You know, I guess
I
they
know.
need to do it. But then what do? Do they bring back Ben Affleck if they do Justice League 2?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
Probably. Well, it probably is gonna be a standalone thing. The Batman.
It's,
You know.
it's so obvious they wanted to beat Avengers, so they rushed it.
Yeah.
They had.
I see
like,
that.
Yeah.
They could have done Cyborg, Mother Box. Then they could have done Wonder Woman 2, Mother Box.
Mm-hmm.
But instead they were like, let's do it all at once. And oh, there they are. It's like, dude, you need to introduce these things and let people get accustomed. Like, nobody thought Iron Man was going to be huge because Iron Man was not a top tier Marvel character. I guess my understanding of it, and I could be wrong about this, so Marvel fans, don't get mad at me. My understanding was that Marvel had sold a lot of their characters away,
Okay.
like X-Men to Fox and
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man to Sony. And so they were like, who do we have? Because we're going to make a movie. And they did the Hulk. So like Marvel was basically like, all of these studios that did these movies have failed and they've done the characters wrong. So if we get funding and do a movie, it'll work. So they did the Hulk. The Hulk was kind of like, meh. They did an Iron Man, and that was a hit.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. was.
He made it happen.
Seriously.
I think that's the reason it was as good as it was because
Yeah.
he played Stark so well.
He is Stark.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
Definitely.
I thought this could be apocryphal, but I heard that like he called his agent and said, "That's me," and he like walked in. He's like, "I'm Tony Stark." It's just me.
Oh right. Well, oh, in the beginning.
That's what I
That's so
heard.
funny.
Like, he told them
I
like
love
it's
it.
that
just
wouldn't
me, you know?
surprise me.
And like
He played it so well.
yeah,
The sass and
yeah.
the quirk, and it's
dude,
perfect.
Robert Downey Jr. is amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe
He's great.
he basically saved the Marvel company
I think
because
so,
they were
yeah.
they were in trouble. They went bankrupt or whatever.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they started
Oh, I
selling
didn't
off
know
the rights to the characters because they needed money.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, something like that. And then the MCU
Yeah,
was
Iron Man.
like magic.
What an awesome movie.
Dude, you know I didn't realize because it's been a decade, but I was going back and looking at all these. Like I was watching an older movie, and I'm like, I wonder how much this movie made in the box office. And it was like a $35 million budget, and it made like $50 million, and that was a success. And I was like, whoa,
Only profited 15 mil.
50.
Oh no. They made 50, but
Oh.
it cost 35.
And marketing and stuff, they probably made less
right?
than that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, the reason I say whoa is you look back at movies in the 2000s and you know the 2000s and the 90s and stuff, and they had smaller budgets and made way less money. Then you look at Marvel and it's like They have a $200 million budget, made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like every single movie they've done.
Yeah, it's insane.
And so that's the thing about the what people don't realize about the DC movies is that they're like, they're not really good. It's like, let me pull up
A list of DC movies.
no, let me
I am interested in that though. I gotta do that on the side here.
let me pull up Justice League here.
All right, we're googling.
I'm duck going.
So here,
Oh, sorry.
For the
Get it right.
record.
There we go. Tim's back on.
Justice League was a $300 million budget. It made $657.9 million. So even if you compare this to like movies a long time ago, that was like a tenfold, amount of money. A lot of other movies, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there were high budget movies, back in the day, but it seems like we're really in this era of the $1 billion blockbuster.
Yeah.
So they know, they're like, just keep making more DC movies because even if they're bad, people can go see them because they love it. Like Aquaman was just good enough for me.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
The ending was just spectacular visuals.
Yeah. It was a good movie. I liked it.
The music was kind of weird. Wonder Woman was awesome.
I
think Wonder Woman
didn't
was
think about the music of. I liked Aquaman 1. It was a good movie.
Oh, I'm really angry, man. Because they had to postpone Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Because of-
1984.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yep.
Man, that looks good. I'm excited to see that movie.
I know.
Yeah. Where are we at? Gal Gadot. Let's see. What's she up to? Filmography.
Oh, I like her a little less
Films.
after this.
So Wonder Woman 1984. Let's see. What's the
Wonder
gonna be-
Woman is the perfect example of a powerful female lead, and it's an awesome movie. Everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, that movie was awesome. And it's like, you don't need to, it wasn't like social
Wasn't
justice-y.
preachy or feminist.
I mean, there was essences of it because
But it was done right.
it was
was
done
done right.
correctly.
I
Yeah,
really
it was dope.
respected her.
That was
So
a,
did
that was a good
August-
movie. Props
August-
on that. Decent.
August 14th
Yeah,
for Wonder
boom.
Woman 1984.
Boom.
Dude, I love the trailer for this movie. I was
Yeah.
excited for this.
You like the remake of
Yeah,
that song?
dude, Blue Monday.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
it was So
So good.
good. Freaking love that.
Or
Kind of music.
orchestral Blue Monday.
So I was looking
Dude.
up DC movies that are coming out, and Wonder Woman's right at the top. And I guess they just announced Green Lantern Corps,
Ooh.
Really?
the Green Lantern Corps.
We gotta get a
A
cameo.
group of humans join the Green Lantern Corps, an alien interspace police force that protects the universe. That's I always liked Green Lantern.
We gotta get a cameo from Ryan Reynolds on that one.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ryan-
even if
Ryan
if
Reynolds.
it's just 5
Yes.
seconds, doesn't matter.
You've gotta have some cameo in that movie.
Please, Ryan.
Come on. We're begging
You're
you.
he's great. He's hilarious.
He's-
I
he's
follow
like-
him, and he's a funny dude.
He's the best celebrity.
He's
I
one of
think
the
so,
one of the
too. Yeah.
best.
Funny,
So-based.
humble,
Super
self-deprecating.
based, Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like-
it's true.
and
He's got great qualities.
And Deadpool was like on the mark.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
man.
Deadpool.
Yeah,
he
dude.
did such a good
It was
job.
him.
Yeah.
That was the joke. They were like, I guess in the comic they said Deadpool was a combination of Ryan Reynolds mixed with Sharpay or something like that.
That's great.
And Ryan was like really advocating for Deadpool and like, wow, man.
He made that movie happen.
Yeah.
Like, but think about Ryan Reynolds' stature, his voice.
Yep.
He's Deadpool,
He's
man.
so
I'm
Deadpool.
like, I
It's
couldn't
so
have-
true.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and,
Yep.
He
and
did
Ryan
the
Reynolds
same thing to Deadpool.
is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
I will go and see 50 Deadpool movies if they keep making them.
Totally.
It's so
Same
much.
here.
It's the silly fun is hilarious.
I would say the same thing with Iron Man, but they killed him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
jerks.
Why'd they have to kill him
You
off?
can't keep like the fact of the matter is both of them can't keep doing it. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
Dude,
Pirates
Deadpool
of the Caribbean
2 is hilarious. I love.
how
those
many others?
movies.
There's 5 of them.
They're doing more.
Pirates?
Yeah.
Are they bringing him back?
I
Ooh,
believe
they
they're bringing
better.
back Johnny Depp.
They freaking better.
Yes.
Win for Johnny. Yes.
You go,
please.
Johnny.
All right, so let's hop back over to the last few super chats here.
Yeah.
And we've gone over a little bit like normal, but it's okay.
Classy.
As usual.
Let's see where are we at on these super chats. Oh, I like this one. Oh man, people are bringing up some really good points. I want to read these.
All right.
these.
Yes, good.
Okay, here we are. Let's see. Normies Get Out says Superman is the lamest superhero. Debate me. I actually think there's good points to be made about Superman being a weird character.
Because he's too powerful. There's not enough.
He is. He's got weird powers that don't really make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like they really try to explain the Flash, for instance.
Okay.
The Speed Force. They try to create some kind of a system so you can understand his powers.
Okay.
Superman, he shoots lasers, freeze breath.
Yeah.
At one point, Superman could fire little Supermans out of his palm.
I love that so much.
That's pretty
Hold on.
funny.
Pink kryptonite turns him gay.
Oh, of course it
Not
does.
kidding.
Wait, seriously?
That is
Yep.
awesome.
Why?
I don't know.
What? Like during
They just
the 80s
keep writing
or?
crazy and crazier stuff.
Okay.
Sounds very 80s. I'm just
So
saying.
yes, I would agree, Superman. I wouldn't call him.
Random.
I don't think he's the lamest though. I think they have really bad superheroes, but I still like Superman. It's cool.
Like what?
Really lame superheroes.
Yeah, give me one. That's worse than
the
Superman.
Top of my head.
Yeah, quickly, right now. Go.
I don't think I could.
Okay, that's fine.
Like
I had to put you on the spot.
Too much
though.
pressure.
no, when I think of I don't care for the lame ones. That's why.
Good point.
Yeah. So when I'm thinking of
They don't
superheroes,
deserve space in the memory bank.
I don't watch
That's right.
videos of the lame superheroes.
Okay.
And that actually proves that Superman's actually not that bad.
All right.
But I do think it's worthy of criticism. Nathan says, my wife works in St. Paul Hospital where they are closing down due to rioting. Family of mine work in National Guard on their way to assist in managing the riots.
Oh, man.
Fires were visible from Wisconsin state line. Whoa.
Wow.
Crazy. St. Miles says, Adam's shirt should say, I will spin the saucer. 8-bit Nico says, Kevin Conroy, best Batman.
Kevin Conroy. What did he
Yes,
play Batman in?
He's the voice actor for all Batman.
Ah.
So I will tell you this straight up.
Okay. For cartoon Batman.
For video games and cartoons, Kevin Conroy absolutely is
In
the
video games
best.
also?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
His voice is Batman. End of story.
I got to give it to him.
So
Yeah,
if
I
we were
played
if
some
we were
Batman
gonna, if we were
games.
going to take everyone who's ever done anything having to do with Batman,
Mhm.
I would still give Adam West #1 because he's the legend classic.
True.
Then Kevin Conroy for sure. If we're talking about live action stuff, Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy, but I absolutely think he is the best voice. Look, Adam West has a special place as legend status.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking about serious Batman fighting and seriousness,
Mhm.
Kevin Conroy for sure.
Well, it's like Mark Hamill is the
He's
Joker.
Joker.
He is.
Mark Hamill.
Man,
Joker, dude.
He was like being interviewed, and someone's like, "Can you do like the Joker voice?" And he was like, "Yeah, okay." And then like did it for a while, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Joker, man.
Like he became a different person.
Dude, the
It's
Batman
so
animated
good.
series is one of the best pieces of art.
Yeah.
And it was the first cartoon to ever win an Emmy.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I
The
didn't
Mr.
know
Freeze
that.
episode.
Nice.
I think it was an Emmy.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then Bill says Kevin Conroy will always be best Batman. Yeah, yeah. Barb says not only is Henry Cavill a great Superman, but he also plays World of Warcraft. He apparently missed the initial call saying he got the role because he was in the middle of a clan boss raid. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's funny.
That's pretty cool.
Ryan Woodward says, here's $50 for telling Jack Dorsey to his face that regulation was coming for him.
Oh yeah.
You did.
I did.
Tim Pool Profit.
And here it is.
And he responded.
Andrew Hillier says, Christian Bale, best Bruce Wayne. Ben Affleck, best Batman.
Interesting.
Good point.
That's a good point.
Bobby says, Kevin Conroy is best. VA, a voice actor from animated series. I think we stand corrected on that one for sure. Kevin Conroy. Sean Caldwell says, thank all y'all for all you do for us. The most valuable thing you can give folks is your time. Shop owner in Texas. We have the castle law. You can protect yourself, your property, and others with deadly force.
Yeah, like stand your ground.
Makes
Jeremy
sense.
coming in saying Kevin Conroy, man. I feel bad for discrediting him. We shouldn't do that. Mad respect.
I didn't even know.
Tasted,
I didn't know
yeah.
his name. Now I do. Thank you, everybody.
Political Pothead says, Chris Maloney has level 4 TDS. Look at his Twitter.
Oh,
That's a shame.
no, I hate to see it.
It's a shame, but
Haven't seen
listen,
it.
so does Mark Ruffalo. I still like him as
I
Hulk.
have seen that.
It's bad, man.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. I'm like, come on, man.
It's a little cringy, a lot.
It's so cringy.
And it just makes me think about what we say. It's like the people on the left just stay on the left and only look for news on the left instead of being on the right or in the middle and looking at all news and being like, good points. I'm going to take what I got from all of
Yes.
those and make my own decision.
Yes.
Sure, but my issue isn't about that. With Mark Ruffalo, it's that you need to stand up so you can pull the stick out of your butt.
Oh, well.
It's a little different. Wasn't expecting that, but okay.
The way they act, you can hate the president.
Yeah.
You can be wrong about the president,
Mhm.
but what they do is something different. Like he goes on Twitter and he's just like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yes, just
okay,
I know.
like
I,
that.
I see that.
It's like,
you're not making any
calm
points.
down.
You're just screeching nonstop. But I
Mhm.
will tell you this: I think he does a great job as the Hulk. I look forward to seeing him in more movies. I think he does a really good job. I really like him as an actor, and that's okay that I don't like his politics. And I wish he had that in him as well. That we can disagree and not like each other, but still have a professional respect for the work other people do.
Yep.
But he's out there, man.
Nobody's perfect.
Hey, Chris Evans did this thing where he started meeting with Republicans to talk to him.
That was so
Oh, yeah, I
cool.
saw that.
He's
Yeah.
got TDS, but I really respect that he tried.
Yeah.
You know, that's good.
He did the right thing.
Robert Contreras says, how do you like Henry Cavill on The Witcher? I have never seen such a perfect match for a role. Ledger for Joker, maybe, but Cavill is great. I couldn't get into The Witcher. I fell off of it. The show.
I am the same. You know what's funny? Every so often I'm like, all right, I'm gonna finish the first season at least, and I watch an episode and I'm like, why? Although I haven't played the Witcher games, and I feel like that might make a difference if I actually played the games and I knew the lore of the universe, and then maybe watching the TV show. But I feel like there's something with the writing. It feels like I'm watching something from the 90s, like something Kevin Sorbo would do. You know what I mean? Like,
But hey, man, don't rag on Sorbo.
Oh no, Kevin Sorbo was
Hercules
awesome.
was awesome.
Hercules was awesome. I know, but watching it
Love that
now, it's like, okay, what is this? There's a little cheesy element to it, and I feel like they were trying to be so realistic, but they still had this cheese element too that I can't unsee.
Hercules is awesome.
Hercules was awesome. I watched that show. It was a good show.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm not trying to diss Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo was great, but it just something about
Comparing the quality levels of what Witcher was going to be, this grandiose like adaptation, and instead it turned into one of these CW kind of shows.
no.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a little element of something about that show that I
It's a
just
CW.
I like the
Can't do it.
CW shows too, but it's like Game of Thrones compared to Arrow. It's like,
yeah.
well, actually, I'll take that
But
back.
they really
because-
wanted to be this epic thing, and it was like they portrayed it, and it was. I mean, there's some good fight scenes. I don't want to deny that The Witcher has really cool elements to it.
How
don't
did
know, but
Westworld become such
something-
garbage?
Oh man, I don't want to talk about Westworld. Westworld just started way up here and just slowly
WTF.
disintegrated as it went
Yeah,
along.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Cliff says, watch Grace Randolph to find out about movies. Wanda says, he was also in a movie called Remember Me About the Twin Towers.
Okay.
Chef Spork says, it's not the old times, it's the before times. Yes, the before times.
The before
Yes.
times.
Normies Get Out says, Tim, I got laid off when oil busted. Texan here. Can I have a job? I promise I won't tell everyone what's under your beanie. Unfortunately, I am not hiring. But maybe, so the first thing that has to happen is building, and then it could be 6 months, a year. So I guess we'll see what happens. Sean Moore says, Ken West told me as CTO of Marvel, he was against Downey since he was a felon and a drunk. Crazy. Maybe Sapien says, greetings, brodacious Beanie Brigade. Tim, your Karen impression is spot on. Please do it one more time. I don't remember what I did for the Karen
I
impression.
don't remember either.
Your impressions in general are pretty spot
enjoy
on,
your
bro.
impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say,
I could probably do
quality.
Top tier.
Hire some animators. We'll do some comedy.
You could say, "Let me talk to your manager. I need to talk to your manager."
talk to your manager.
Yes, it's like Midwestern.
There you go.
Oh gosh.
Kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah,
Nasally.
A little bit, yeah.
Whiny. Andrew Starr says, did y'all see the pawn shop owner who defended his property last night with a gun?
Yep.
And has already been arrested for murder, but the cop is still free.
Yeah.
That is
Isn't that
insane,
weird?
man.
Yeah, insane. Defending himself.
Versus, yeah, seriously.
Character Holding says, Tim for Joker, Adam for Batman, Lydia for her choice. All the female characters are awesome.
Cool.
STFU
I'll
says,
be Batman. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Passion of the Christ, $83 million opening weekend. Man, wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
Vipirus says the Batman is supposed to be set shortly after Bruce Wayne puts on the cowl, mainly focused on the detective part of the character and covers an entire year in which you see Bruce Wayne improve his suit and gadgets. Cool.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. John R., thanks for the super chat. Andrew says Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Definitely.
Oh,
100%.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
But
Good
Wolverine
point.
was supposed to be short. Hugh
Okay.
Jackman is like 6'5", or some
Well,
ridiculous
then they
height.
shortened him.
He
'Cause
doesn't seem
in the
that
comic?
tall.
No, in the movies,
Yeah.
that he doesn't seem 6'5".
Must have
I
forced
know
perspective.
he's a tall guy, but I feel like they probably shrunk him down because you think he's you see him next to all those other guys, the X-Men, and he doesn't seem 6'5".
Yeah, I have
6'5",
no
that's
idea.
tall.
Yeah.
That's a tall man.
Yeah.
He's 6'2".
Oh, okay, 6'2". Still, that's not as tall, but
Wolverine was supposed to be tiny, like 5'4" or something.
know,
5'5".
Really?
But
I
that
had no
statement,
idea.
what is it, Andrew Starr, is so true.
It is.
I gotta give it to you.
Yeah,
He
100%.
was Wolverine.
Height
Absolutely.
aside, yes.
All
Hands
right.
down.
Marshall Levine says, I've been in love with Robert Downey Jr. since Weird Science 1985. I date myself. Shazam, the Sat TV show on After ISIS needs to be a movie too. Weird Science was fun. It was made before I was alive, but I did see it when I was younger. Nolan says, have some Walmart cart pusher cash beanie man. Today's my payday. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you.
Nice.
Tyler Street says, rip Joe Rogan. Why? What happened?
That
That's
is
what they always
a
say in the
growing
chat.
meme.
I don't
Oh, is it?
understand it. He is
Seems like
fine.
it.
Ellen McCann says, my brother gave in beanie. What? Jason. Whoa. Jason says, Batfleck kicked ass. Cavill is Superman. Snyder got sidelined, and Whedon boned us all. Not gay here, but Adam, we both laugh in all the same places. Stay gold, lids. Tim, you coo too. Go watch Lighthouse, and thanks for the shirts. Appreciate it. Ed says Kevin Conroy rocks as Batman, especially in the Arkham series.
Yep.
He really is the best.
Yeah, that's the games I played.
I wish his voice could be in the movies. But he's not the physical actor. Chris says, when people complain about wokeness in movies, it seems that they are just complaining about bad writing defended by wokeness. That makes sense. It's a really good point.
It's a mix, I feel. Like it could go either way.
Because when movies are woke but done right, they're like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's true.
It gave us, a perspective of people of color.
Man, that was an excellent movie.
And it was awesome.
I need
was
to
a
finish
really
You
it.
can
good
do
movie.
woke right. Static Shock
Yeah.
is my favorite example of how to do what woke is supposed to be. The Static Shock cartoon taught you all these life lessons, dealt with racism and homophobia. It's a good show.
Maybe woke is the wrong word then. Maybe what we're thinking is like actual social justice, the way it's actually supposed to be done, social and just.
I always say that social justice at its core is a awesome thing. Justice is what we're striving for.
Right.
But the horrible writing and pandering and the
Yes,
authoritarian
that is
application.
wokeness.
It's when you
Yeah.
become a warrior
Yeah, exactly.
when no one asked you to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah.
Let's see. Cypress says, any tips for starting a podcast? To be honest, just start doing it and you'll grow and learn and solve problems as you go along.
Truth.
Roger says, Christopher Reeve is Superman. All others are less.
He was a good Superman. I liked those movies as a kid.
Smeet says, Dear Pim Jong Tool, wanted to say that although I disagree with you a lot, I also watch you the most. Keep true to you, man. You always do a great job. Appreciate it. I like disagreeing with people. Like in the context that we're having a conversation to discover things. Jaxo says, Ben Affleck was the saddest Superman, Hollywoodland. Wait, he was Superman? He wasn't Superman.
Was he Superman? Hollywoodland? Is that a movie?
Oh, in Hollywoodland.
Oh.
Grim Soul says, I love both, but Barbossa better than Jack Sparrow. The original in the first movie.
Yeah.
Did they change him?
No, it's just going downhill.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah.
It's just getting weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, see. Wanda Lawrence says, I guess I should mention that it was Rob Pattinson that was in the movie called Remember Me. He was one of the people in the tower when it went down. Bummer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Buku's yelling at us.
He's serenading us.
Eric Harrison says, I still can't quit laughing about the shark heard round the world. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Killsy says, like the video. If you haven't already, hit the like button because it does help.
Yeah. Enjoy
Boo,
this
not
cut.
you. Yo, what size shirts
Okay, I get
do
it.
y'all
He didn't
wear?
want to get picked up, I guess.
Depending on the shirts, smalls and mediums. I wear a small.
Kitty break.
Buku.
That's Boku.
He's just doing his cat thing.
Oh, yeah.
Boku-san.
Marshall Levine says, Forgot Riots, 1988, movie about Minnesota, Duluth area. Hilariously funny, must see. Far North, directed by Sam Shepard. Stars Jessica Lange, Charles Durning. Buku, I can't read when you do that. New Age Cuck says, St. Paul PD linked to start of the AutoZone looting. I gotta see that. Jeremy says, what want a Static Shock movie if good? Static Shock's awesome. Awesome. Well, that being said, we've gone a little late tonight, as we have in the past few days,
As
for
is
whatever
our
reason.
law.
That's all right.
We love you guys.
And Buku is there leaving. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. It really does help. Share the podcast if you really do like the show, because that is really the best way. YouTube doesn't give us the same preferential treatment they give to CNN and MSNBC. So
Although it seems like they're kind of letting go of that.
no, they still don't.
Oh, same.
Yeah, they still don't give us like.
Okay.
It looks like this channel might pop up more only because it's not censored like my other channels.
Yeah, okay.
But dude, it's Fox News and MSNBC across the board.
So share
Share.
our videos.
Yeah.
Tell
Share.
everyone how awesome or terrible we are.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I accept
hit
both.
the share button.
Yeah, laugh
Post
at
it on
us.
Facebook. Do whatever, and we greatly appreciate it. Stick around. We will be back Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So we will be here tomorrow, 8 p.m. live. We put up segments from the show every day.
Yep.
So if you want to hang out with us,
Yeah,
come
tomorrow's
back
Friday,
tomorrow.
right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday.
So
Tomorrow's
tomorrow
Friday.
we're doing a jam.
Yes.
We play
Tomorrow
music
after the
at
show.
the end of every show on
Both
Fridays.
Tim and
I
I
love
play
it.
play some tunes.
Yep.
So tune in.
And we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out.
Have a good night.